We are in, ladies and gentlemen, for the second best of 3 of the day here in the Swiss stage in the Pinnacle Cup. My name is Xroy, of course, with the beautiful Wild Deity by my side. We've got different colors today that we're representing. You're on the darkest spectrum, I'm more on the lightest spectrum, yin and yang, you know, we complete each other. But other than that, yeah, Double Pony versus Lyngby Vikings is the match we'll be looking at today.
Yeah, and Double Pony is a team that I've only recently started looking at in particular, but you already know that they've got some standout player, and apparently we're moving right into the Vetos. Okay, pretty straightforward, but yeah, Nuke is going to be picked up by Double Pony. Now, that's a map that they're very comfortable with. That's a map that they've shown a lot of promise on, and that's the map that they're the best on. So, Lyngby Vikings, next map, Vertigo. That's something that Double Pony aren't particularly comfortable with. We've seen quite a few losses here and there. I mean, they've lost against the likes of Pact, Akuma, Saw, Endpoint, Vitality. Fairly enough, I think they are better teams than Lyngby Vikings on paper. So, that's something to consider. And the decider being Overpass, that definitely favors Lyngby Vikings a little bit. Lots of more maps being played, but at the same time, I think Double Pony have a bit more experience when it comes to playing higher tier teams.
Yeah, and coming into this, I think I like the change of pace, not only due to the fact it's different teams we're looking at right now, but it's a completely different map pool, right? We saw previously Dust 2, Ancient, and Inferno in that particular order, and now we see more util-heavy maps such as Nuke being played, Vertigo as well, Overpass. It's a completely different spectrum, but it seems we don't have much time for pre-game talk anymore. We're heading right into the game.
That was pretty swift, but it is what it is. Do of course get to see a few clips from the previous game before that happens. Yep, there we go. Now it's all in order. And Lyngby Vikings starting off on the CT side, Double Pony on the T, and it seems like they want to be a lot more aggressive than what we've grown accustomed to. Move on straight into ramp. Rawls is not ready for it. He gets caught out. Exercise is the first one to draw blood. 1-for-1 trade. As Double Pony, they've made their mark, and
they've turned that attention towards the A side, though. Manx does get the first kill, Lucky as well. Manx with a second kill coming his way, 2 versus 3, and Lyngby Vikings, they're holding their ground, not for long. Exercise puts a dent into his opponent's head, and now it's down to an equal standpoint. They haven't gained the ground to get the bomb planted just yet, which is why Exercise is getting himself on the backside of this site. Bird from Sky approaching, misses out on the first shot, takes some time to kill him off, but eventually finds the finishing blow, gets the reload forwards, and that's going to be the headshot for him for that final kill. Lyngby Vikings at 1-0 on the board.
Yeah, very surprising that Bird from Sky doesn't immediately pick up the kill, but it's okay. He redeemed himself and even came out swinging with the next one tap. So, Lyngby Vikings, that's a good start from them. On their opponent's map pick, on the map that they're theoretically not supposed to be too comfortable on, I think they'll take it. Double Pony, they're not off to a stellar start, but they have entirely left their inventories barren. They're expecting to get a buy up in the next round, so that's something that will be faring better for them. Moving into ramp now, playing around the smoke. Rawls, he's about to be greeted.
Oh, yes, he is. And he's not challenged at all. Apart from that kill from Joko, but other than that, it was a clean round for him. 3 kills on the MP9. The moneymaker, if you will. I think Lyngby Vikings will really enjoy that. Joko's got the moneymaker back into his hands, though. He may be able to find some damage against Staff if he finds the timing correctly. I think he's able to do so. Doesn't take any damage throughout that process, so that's 2 kills going his way.
Don't think he has the information, but had he known, then he could pop on over to the A side and get a free bomb plant. Does it in style too? Oh no! Oh no! There's no style to be had here.
Oh no, Joko, not like this.
He triangulated that for a solid 20 seconds, and then
he wanted that to look big brain, but he never figured out that he was very low on health. I understand what he wanted to do there. He wanted to open up the door with a nade and use that to push through explosively, quite literally, onto the site. But yeah, his bones couldn't withstand that explosion.
Yeah, interesting. But now Double Pony are on the AKs. Quickly put that under the rug, water under the bridge, so we don't have to think about that abomination anymore.
It happens, even to the pros. I feel better about myself now. Thank you.
Please don't. You're silver. All right, getting back to the game. Lyngby Vikings. Oh, they've already lost a man. Christo's been shut out in garage. Now they immediately have to scramble to get some control back. And Manx, he's stuck in garage. He swings out with barely any HP to work with. He's still almost equalized the numbers. The Famas not favored for range, but the M4 is a bird. He can chime in.
Can indeed. 3v3 right now, and it's within the realms of possibility here for Double Pony, but Manx quickly takes that card out of their hand. Lucky delivers onto the site, which may be an opening for them, as Jocko does help out in that endeavor. Whereas on Manx.
What is up with the utility in this?
I have no idea. That Molly completely fluked. Landed in the air. Lucky's got the right idea, but Raz, I think he's expecting this as well. Finding the finishing blow into Jocko. Lucky trying to find the kill, but not really successful in doing so. Raz, beautifully done. Manx distracted them for as long as needed, and Raz was able to capitalize on that regard as well. That's going to be a 3-0 for the Danes.
That's rough for Double Pony. Not sure how they're able to get this retake, but I like the fact that they take their time, you know, so Rawls can pick up some utility. But in the meantime, if you do want to go ahead and check out Pinnacle, you can use the code CUP21, where you can bet €10 and get a bonus of €10 as well on your deposit. So you can visit pinnacle.com/welcome to find out more information. But remember, only bet what you can afford to lose and gamble responsibly. Terms and conditions apply.
You're too used to the Counter-Strike currency, aren't you, Wild Eddie? Had to say dollars. We're in the land of Europe. Land of freedom. Not exactly what it's known for, but I mean, you could say that. Manx does push through. It's supposed to be a simple ordeal for them. Exercise, barely breathing, eventually being put out from his misery. Dafu, he's looking to square a few shots from above, being challenged from multiple angles, which does mean that he eventually falls. So they do lose a couple of rifles in the process, and they may lose a third as well. Not a fourth, but still substantial damage from the French side.
This is as clean of a slate as Lyngby Vikings can have for themselves. 4-0. And Double Pony. Now, we are anticipating that they're suddenly going to start putting up the numbers, because there's a reason that they're on that 25 mark. You know that they've been climbing. Body is no stranger to victories at all. But Lyngby Vikings, neither are they. Bird from Sky playing up a very close angle, potentially looking to catch somebody off guard. But Afro, because he's boosted up that far up, had Bird from Sky crossed over to Redcon, he would have been able to spot it. Christo looks away in the nick of time. Well, actually, I don't think Body would have been exposed to it, but regardless, it is a stalemate as Double Pony wait for the utility of Lyngby Vikings to start expiring. Shot received to the leg by Max. But other than that, it's going to be a pretty slow pace. Redcon info's been given up.
Duff is the first man to get himself a kill this round, so first blood goes to the side of Lyngby Vikings. DBL Poney, they've struggled to find that early advantage, haven't they? It's depicted once more, even though they're on a bye round. They need something spicy to come their way. Looks like they're going to go for a default ace setup as well. They're going to push through. Max lets them pass so he can kill them from behind. One goes his way, but the other manages to kill him instead. 3 versus 4, but the access to the bomb hasn't quite been given to the ace site just yet. 30 seconds. We'll be getting the bomb down fairly quickly, but other than that, recuperation will be coming in from Lyngby Vikings, looking to chime in together on the retake. Exercise. Look at that angle. That's fairly aggressive of him as well. And the fact that Rouse is playing such a slow approach,
Ooh.
He'll be there to read it. Jocko with a swing gets that kill in his favor. And now Lyngby Vikings are up against the wall, and there's nothing much they can do against the 3 players of Double Pony.
What was that peek from Joko? Barely spotted Rouse. Just had his barrel bend around the corner to fire off that shot. Some very Looney Tunes-esque stuff. But yeah, Lyngby Vikings, they've just dropped their first round. Double Pony, they're sweetening the deal a little bit more. Joko, he scrapped all the way around for the third kill. And now the T side, they might just have gotten back on the horse.
Oh, look at the odds. Very close.
Yeah,
it's as if you don't expect who will be the victor.
Double Pony are slightly favored, but I think their lead would be a lot bigger with regards to the odds if they hadn't gotten off to a bad start. And this is of course because this is their own map pick. If Lyngby Vikings beat out Double Pony on their own map pick, then at that point you can start losing a bit of faith. But lucky, he wasn't very lucky in avoiding that damage.
Rouse with aggression here. Will they be precedented? To be expected. I think Exercise has got this angle covered. Beautiful flash, which means they'll get a freebie of a kill. Doesn't back away from it. Slightly too greedy, which means that Joko gets the swing on him. Does mean things have been set into an equilibrium state for yet another time. Seeing how fruitful DBL Poney's firepower is currently, I do seem to favor them this round, at least. But I wouldn't be surprised if it really goes the other way as well. Smoke's dedicated on the outside area as well to keep the DBL Poney side busy.
Okay, I was just making sure that the scoreboard hasn't been switched around for too long, as it was for a second, but now it's all good. But this is where the execute starts to come in. Garage smoked off, Molotov comes through, they pushed right out the door. Mang sees the first line of defense, MP9 in hand, headshot will not connect, and that puts a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of Dafu. A player coming in from the heavens, and Dafu's stuck alive for long enough so they can start ripping the T side to shreds. Joko, he's the last man remaining. He's gotten 3 kills. Can he find the 1v2? Probably not, because there's not enough time.
Yeah, absolutely no time. I would have thought that DBL Poney would have the advantage there, but through their attack, through their approach, Lyngby Vikings were there to greet them.
Yeah, it's off the back of Dafu being alive for that long and not being intercepted, because there wasn't a player in heaven for the longest time. Because Dafu's able to hold down the line, it's good enough for the CTs to start gathering back on the bomb site, start rotating in. That's good enough to land Lyngby Vikings on that sweet 15th mark on the board. Or rather, 5th mark on the board, not 15th, or the game would basically be over already. Double Pony. What do they make of this? They have exhausted their funds.
This time it's the triple deep smoke setup to be brought out from DBL Poney's side, maybe to give them access towards Garage, or even trickle towards the A site from multiple directions. Joko wins on his trade in that regard, gets himself the second one as well. They're going to get that A site under control very quickly. Rouse trying to get himself quickly into the fight, although Lucky takes the full front of that HE grenade damage. Afro puts his mark in this round, but I think the cake has been cut, and most of the pieces have gone to the DBL Poney side. Lyngby Vikings, they want a piece of it, but they need to work hard for it. Flash coming through, Chris through, looking to push forwards. But for now, without a pick, it's going to be a really difficult endeavor. Slowly making their way throughout it.
2v3. Yeah, this is a very balls to the wall retake, and they've got a couple defuse kits. They've crept up so close, so this is doable. They're trying to bait out the player on the site, but this is over. Joko, he's gotten his 3rd mark on the tally. Man, Joko's going absolutely nuts. He's gotten 11 kills.
Oh, he has. And you guys can go nuts heading over to Pinnacle by betting 10 euros. You'll be getting 10 euros in return by putting the code CUP21 in. So, yeah, if you need any more details on that, because there are some terms and conditions that do apply, go and head over to pinnacle.com/welcome for that information. But, yeah, no, it's looking stellar. And DBL Poney, the fact that they've been able to do so much damage to Lyngby Vikings' economy, they've been brought down completely.
Oh, Afro, some of those acrobatics, they paid off because he's able to catch a player off in credit card. Christo, not part of the equation no more. Lyngby Vikings, I think they might have just allowed Double Pony to have a ramp to work off of, sending a player down secret. But Body, he's just making some noise before he gets right back into it. Eventually wants to move on to Garage. No reason for him to rotate over B because he's already made the impact that he wanted, that he wants people to potentially rotate onto the B site. Dafu nearly gets caught, gets away with 26 points of health. But not for long.
Double Pony, although they've gotten themselves a few trades go their way, haven't pushed up just yet, which gives room for Bird from Sky to keep on doing things. Smoke. Oh, it fails, but he gets one shot instead. Lucky Afro, both. They make it work. It's all up to Rouse, really.
Yeah,
I think he'll be happy with an AK-47.
Yeah, that consolation prize is probably worth a lot more than anything he could get out of the attempt, so this 3v1 will be entirely foregone. Rawls. It is a bit shaky here. I like how he's playing very close to the enemy, knowing where they are. Because like I feel like he's even safer there. They're checking outside instead. Double Pony. Pavlos, what do you think about this? They've gotten right back, haven't they?
Oh, they have. And they could take it even further, you know. And I think Pinnacle really realized that as well. If you look at the odds, they're slowly being the ones favored. Although it's still a close scoreline, it could very easily become a 5-4. Which is where I see Double Pony sort of regaining that lead. And having a good result over on the T side is a really important prospect. But there's a timeout coming through. I guess it gives us some nice time to talk about our partners, well, basically Pinnacle, who's making this whole tournament a thing. If you think you know what's, if you think you know how Counter-Strike works and how if you want to put your knowledge to the test, I think pinnacle.com/odds is a place for you to go, and you can get yourselves the latest play offerings for example, this game, Lyngby Vikings versus Double Pony. And there's a nice little offer that you want to take advantage over. It is a €10 on Esports that you get in return after betting. And, of course, you need to be a new customer and sign up with the code CUP21. Make sure you can bet only what you can afford. And, of course, there are full terms and conditions that do apply in that regard. But I think Double Pony, I think they don't really need to bet into this round too much. They don't need to gamble too much because it should be a clean one. But what Lyngby Vikings do is line all their players together. That's the gamble they want, and that's going to be an AK-47 going in their hands.
Yeah, that AK being picked up, immediately contributing to the fight because they've sent a player up onto A. Manx, he wants to aggress around, but this is the angle that's being watched. Lucky knows what's coming, and he's happy to take it. Tries to go for a second frag, but Dafu is the refrag that does not miss. Heading on over to the B site.
It's onto the B site. As he said, Dafu waiting to challenge Jocko. Getting the kill as well, 2 versus 2. And Exercise does find a finishing blow onto Bird from Sky. It's a massacre, but they do move towards the B site either way. Afro in a corner, making sure if Lyngby Vikings go for the push, but Exercise, he's sticking around towards the A site. He's going to be a menace. He's going to try and lure Lyngby Vikings out of this position. Afro, he hid underneath Christu's nose, and it pays off. It's all up to Dafu. But they're not quite sure where the bomb is going to be placed just yet, do they? Although Afro's all by himself onto the B site, I think he's waiting for Exercise to join him before they go for the plant.
Dafu. He's gambling on the idea that maybe if they come on towards A, that'll allow him a free entry, a free kill. But that's not the case. Instead, he'll hop on over to the B site. Now, he can approach from decon, or he could go from observation, but the question is whether or not he actually attempts this, because there's no armor, there's no kit. He would have to find the first frag for basically free to even grant him an opportunity. Maybe he has info on Afro, because that is the place he was playing in before, and he's doing the exact same thing again with a Deagle. But oh no, that's the audio cue being given up. He knows that they are happy to capitalize on it, so now he just wants to run away. That's an AK being tucked away. Does he run away with his life? Yeah.
Yeah, falls back to safety. Now, I think Lyngby Vikings' struggle is starting to show because they've struggled as of recently to find their roster. You know, they've struggled with the 5th, even the 4th player. I mean, Dafu had to rejoin earlier in a few months ago, and now you sort of have Christu joining in instead of Jensi, as I believe Jensi has now left the team. Only just recently, a couple days ago as well, so... They're showing promise that they still can work in as a squad, especially on a map that you wouldn't really expect them to perform to a substantial amount. Still want to challenge everything. The door opens and Christo is there and waiting with his crosshair set up. Smoke out as well, but from Sky delivers. Lyngby Vikings, they've got a stellar hold going on, but Lucky finds himself on the backside here. The two of them may line up. It's beautiful. Lucky may turn the tide in favor of DBL Poney. Bomb will go down, but Manx hasn't been challenged yet. Touchdown, but it's a fake. Peeking through, Rolls realizes his nade bouncing right on top of Lucky's head and body is the final remainder of the double Pony side.
Yeah, and he doesn't get a chance to make a scratch either. It's so surprising that Lyngby Vikings get away with 3 players alive, even with Lucky being in the position that he was. If you get in that deep, if you're able to pick up 2, if you're behind enemy lines, there's no way that anybody can recover from it, but they did. There's no mistaking it. I'm actually starting to see a bit more of this trend where players will wear sleeves on their mouse hand, and I do think it helps. Like, personally, even I feel like when the weather's a bit hot or it's a bit cold, your arm can feel entirely different on the mouse pad, and I think the sleeves probably make it a bit more consistent. But before I get into that too much, make sure you head on over to pinnacle.com/odds, and if you think you know your stuff, you can go ahead and sign up with the code CUP21, and you can bet on esports, which will give you, of course, a bonus on your deposit. 10 euros back for a 10 euro deposit. Make sure you only bet what you can afford to lose, and read the terms and conditions because they do fully apply.
This game is a tough cookie, isn't it? Neither team looks like they want to run away from each other. They like being within hugging distance. Although I do appreciate it, both teams have that killer instinct, you know? An approach we haven't seen too much of is that ramp take that Double Pony is currently looking at. Some fake flashes towards the A site, but you can clearly see where the bomb is heading, and it's only Riles and this off angle to deal with the situation. Spray down to the first one, Exercise knowing where to peek through on the second one. It's a simple endeavor for him to close that one down. Bird from Sky does peek up from the heavens, but no one is really there for him to collect. Manx is the one to try and hold things down, but he's being challenged. He's being challenged left and right, and there will be a player coming in from behind him as well, looking to recollect. Afro catches Christo off guard. Dafu needs to bring excellence to the table, and nothing less than that. Dafu has to draw back. He took a bullet straight to the knee, and now, I mean, at least he throws a nade and get a kill in his favor, but Lucky sneaking himself into that control room position. There is nothing Bird from Sky can do, and it's DBL Poney to get themselves the victory.
All things considered, this terrorist side from Double Pony is not terrible at all. Because now the money won't be available for Lyngby Vikings, and they've got a ramp to work off of. Being on Nuke, being on the terrorist side, if you can muster up 8 to 9 rounds, I think that is ideal, and that's what Double Pony are set up for.
And with the French side closing up the gap, we slowly see the Pinnacle odds reflecting that, right? We slowly see them gaining track in the favor of DBL Poney.
Yeah, as they start to get back into the game, it is expected. But Lyngby Vikings, they should just be feeling glad right now that they were able to get the start that they did. Otherwise, I think they wouldn't be faring too well. Now, getting a bit of control on outside, Double Pony, they haven't really found too much. Bird from Sky and Christo want to experiment outside, but most of the players on the T side, they're actually on ramp.
HE grenade, this could be huge, but only gets the backside of things. Shocker does get one in the process, but Manx does shut down. Now it is a 4 versus 4 in that endeavor. Dafu, need to be thrown. Shocker stayed around there for quite some time. I don't think I expected that, and neither did Dafu, which is why he fell. Double Poney. They're looking to change the tide of this game, finally looking to equalize. And with limited utility, limited resources, Lyngby Vikings, I wouldn't be surprised if they withheld from pushing. Without Double Poney, they're taking their time to push, to say the least. They make sure every corner is checked, and no pesky CT is hiding out in any corner that could catch them off guard and change the tide of this game. I like that approach, but it puts them far back when it comes to timing. It could really be dicey if something doesn't go their way. Afro, though, he's quick on the trigger, quick to react. 25 seconds remaining, and I think they made a decision. They know the A site is open. Joko went on a scouting spree, and he calls the clear scenery, which does permit the bomb to go down. Double Poney. They'll be getting the equalizer after the bomb explodes.
Double Poney can now start to get a bit more comfortable because the CT side economy, it's been under so much pressure even in the previous round that now they've got to save. If they want to eventually inch forward, they've got to take the short-term loss. They will have to allow Double Poney to aggress and get to that 7th round mark. They do get away with an M4 and an AK. Not sure where he picked up the M4, but it doesn't matter. Regardless. Still a couple important weapons to be saving. Now, because they've been able to do that, now they have a fighting chance in the next round. A lot of these engagements on Nuke, especially around ramp, around hut, they can go your way with just one simple spray down. And that's the massive difference that a rifle can make. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lyngby Vikings can still claw out an eyeball or two in this, but Double Poney, they are definitely looking favored, and the odds reflect that. Oh, watch this, Pavlos. I think Double Poney might be aggressing a little bit more than we anticipated on outside.
Yeah, no, they spent these smokes a lot of the times to just fake out with play, but now they're actually committing to it. Damage inflicted onto Exercise multiple times, acting as a human shield. But the Steagle is doing quite a bit. Bird from Sky, he's got vision goggles going on. Christu ends up getting one in the process, so maybe this is doable for Lyngby Vikings. Maybe they do not have to give away the lead so far. They've got limited resources, but they managed to make do with what they have thus far. But with Bird from Sky falling, and with Dafu reaching into the depths where Lucky was hiding, I think their hopes of closing out this round are dwindling away.
Yeah, Lyngby Vikings, now they're staring into the void. That is Lucky, and when you stare at the void stares back, but Manx doesn't care. He's managed to pull himself out of a black hole, and he's got an AK to work with as well. So now it's suddenly looking a lot more doable for the Viking side. Christo, he's on 5 HP, but now it's, at the very least, it's 3 rifles up against 3. Double Poney. What's the decision they go for here? They slowly need to inch past in secret, and they also have to clear out angles and need to get the bomb plant, so a lot of pressure is on them. And they have a player to deal with, Christo. He's playing from the cubby. I don't think he'll reveal himself until the very end. And Rouse has joined the ranks as well. It should be the spray down. This is impossible for Double Poney, and they've been completely pincered. Perfect read from Lyngby Vikings, and they will salvage.
And it all started off from a deagle round from the Lyngby Vikings. Only have a couple of rifles to work with, salvaged from the previous round. But they exchanged the kills that favor them quite substantially. And they had the right read in the end, bringing them the victory. I know they don't look like it very much, but I'm sure they're excited about that. as you do know. Danes don't show too much excitement, but I'm sure they are. Obviously, it's a close endeavor. Obviously, it's not over for them, which is why they're still focused. But I'm sure they can take a victory with a hint of a smile, because they haven't given away the lead over to the other side.
Ooh, look at that. They're trying to be very aggressive. Max has been spotted out around the smoke. Joko with 2, but Daffo responds immediately. Body with a spray down of his own. It's complete chaos over on the A bomb site. The bomb has been dropped. Bird catches one in the back, and now it all comes down to Afro. He's the clutch player of the team, and he is the highest rated one as well. Narrowly misses the shot, but that's good enough for Bird from Sky to take it away and put an end to the chaos.
Well, 8-6, solidifying they will be ahead at halftime, but this is Nuke, isn't it, Valverde? With 6 rounds already in the hands of DBL Double Pony. This is exactly what they really needed. Obviously, getting a 7th here wouldn't be that bad for them either. It'd be excellent. It'd be great. But I think Lyngby Vikings require the 9th more than DBL Pony need the 7th.
Yeah, and I think Double Pony, they're heading on straight to ramp. Christo, he hasn't done this before. That's a card he hasn't shown, but that's still a card that will be red. Lucky picks it up with just a rifle. The AWP has been recovered, so I don't think they anticipate this once again. Raul, but now he's showing us signs of passivity because we know that if he falls and that's the round being given up, Lyngby Vikings, they've got the half advantage, but they want to make it a lot sweeter. They've got the flank coming in. They've got Raul holding down the ramp, so this is looking ideal. They've got the setup that they wanted.
They do indeed, and Mank slowly will find himself on the back line here. Headshot connects onto the first, peek through. Afro, he succeeds in the kill, and that's going to be an M4 in their hands. This could get scary very quickly. Lyngby Vikings continue to lose players here. We talked about the setup being in favor of the Danes, but I think someone has found an Una reverse cut, and he's brought it out.
Double Pony, they still have a lot of way to go because they haven't necessarily been amazing at closing out advantages. They're still huddling around that A lobby, and there's a fair bit of space that they haven't been able to get. Rouse, because he's playing behind the box, he can do a fair bit of damage, but Bird from Sky has fallen. Now it's all down to the AUG to be put to good use, but they're not checking it. He can do a fair bit of damage. Gets the second one as well, and the third potentially, but Joko, he narrowly escapes with his life intact. Now, Rouse and Dafu, they've got a major advantage. This 2v4 is looking a lot doable now for the Lyngby Viking side if they have salvaged it. Brought it down to just 2.
Oh, that is dirty. Dafu opens the door, says peekaboo, goodbye Joko. And Lucky's the only man surviving. It's down to 1-on-1. The doors open once again, and Dafu, with a similar scenario, he's the jester in this situation. Peeks out, makes everyone smile. But not for the Double Pony side. It's Lyngby Vikings to come out on top at halftime, 9-6.
This is a great showing from Lyngby Vikings. For 2 rounds to come through in very unfavorable circumstances. That is solid Counter-Strike being played. If you are a frequent viewer of solid Counter-Strike being played, maybe you can go ahead and check out Pinnacle. If you're interested in betting, you can deposit 10 euros and get 10 euros back on your first deposit as a bonus if you use the code CUP21 to sign up.
Yeah, of course, you get some extra information by heading over to pinnacle.com/welcome. And there'll be some terms and conditions that will apply, but yeah, you can figure it all out there with the information available to you. Lyngby Vikings, though, the information that they want right now is a pistol round to go their way. Double digits is what they're looking for, but Buddy will be their blockade for it for the time being. Headshot does connect for the first, but can he find much else? No. Trickling forwards already to the B site. Bird from Sky makes his way onto the A site, and Double Pony have got no idea. Literally no clue.
Yeah, I'm sure he's feeling very comfortable here, and it should be easy for him to pick up the first kill in heaven. But has he checked it? Doesn't get a chance to pull the trigger. It's a game of cat and mouse where the mouse isn't even aware that there's a cat in the house. Oh, man. Constantly peeking through with a helmet. This is so nerve-wracking. And Joko, he's in the back lines as well. So what's going on here? Why is this round so uncomfortable?
And the damage is being inflicted finally, and the fact that Lucky has to fall, that's going to be a clear leeway onto the site. With Joko holding down the backline, there is nothing they can do. And now onto the side, the bomb has to go down. Need to do a substantial amount of damage, but not going to be the closer. Only really taking off a toe from Manx. Other than that, Double Pony have to play retake 3 versus 4 on a disadvantage. Christo holding down the angle, looking to be a valiant replacement to Gensi. I think he's proven that thus far. Still, the first map of the series, but Lyngby Vikings look strong, especially seeing this is not their own map pick. Body, he's going to be trying his final luck, but it won't be coming to fruition. Lyngby Vikings, they get double digits with that pistol round.
What a nerve-wracking round. Joko was never caught out by Bird from Sky the entire time. Just barely flirting with a potential kill for a solid minute. The Lyngby Vikings, now that they're on double digits, they've got some space to breathe, but maybe they shouldn't, considering that this is Double Pony's map pick. Moving right in, the Mactons to Ching. Can they put some more money in the cash register? Joko, he's good for 2. He picks up 3, and the Deagle is being put to good use, but that's all it's good for. 2 versus 3. Double Pony, they might have just turned it around off the back of Joko.
Rouse looking to challenge here. Christu able to capitalize on it, but Lucky gets the backstab, and now it's all down to Rouse. Got a hand. He struggled before. The spray down didn't look pretty, but he's able to find the headshot of Lucky. Now in that 1v1 standoff with Afro, smoke soon to dissipate. But he's managed to move away from this position. But Afro, does he know? Backtracks in time. The timing was correct. Doesn't quite get spotted out. It's as if Rouse is chasing right after him. Does he go for Afro? Turning his attention towards the B site. Rouse, it looks like he wants to have a bird's eye view of the A site before he attempts it. But Afro, back into the vents. He's in a clear position to rotate wherever he needs to be. Thing about that, though, is he's only got a scout to work with. And it works best when you're holding an angle. Rouse, does he expect the vents? He does not. Has to draw back, spots him out. Afro looking to close up that angle with just a smoke remaining for him. Draws out a pistol.
Is very important here.
Audio cue as well, given out that molly could be very important. Rouse knows he doesn't have to play aggressive. AK-47 picked up by Afro. Still looking to challenge. The smoke goes down, but not on the bomb, which means the molly can go down and delay. That is beautiful. And it all falls into place of Rouse. No time remaining. Even though Afro finds a finishing blow, even though Joko was insane with that Deagle, it's still Lyngby Vikings to come out ahead in the round.
So much damage coming out from the Double Pony side, but it doesn't come to fruition. Lyngby Vikings still run away with the round. They don't do it in style, but it's still a lot to take in. Man, look at that replay. 3 crispy kills. You can already feel the ace coming forward. And I'm really sad that we didn't get to see it, but good stuff for the Lyngby Viking side. Now they've got AKs. Afro is on an AK as well because he was able to run away after that kill. And he's playing off the boost position, so that did give him a bit of a leeway, but look at how the T's are approaching this, just running straight into secret. The auto queue must be there.
The audio cue was there, not quite sure if they were visibly spotted, although the boost did take some time to come underway. The pistol shots are going to have to be precise. Exercise right on top of them. It's hard to miss your shots when you're that close. It's a good thing for him, at least got 1 in the process, so still damage inflicted. Especially seeing that the last round, none of the players from Lyngby Vikings survived, so any kill here is a bonus. Afro puts that AK-47 to the test. Finds 2 in the process as well. That's heavy economical damage being inflicted over to Lyngby, because Double Pony, they didn't invest a single thing. They didn't invest it into a single thing this round.
This is too close for comfort for the Lyngby Viking side. This is supposed to be a map pick that is dominated by Double Pony. And I don't think that Lyngby Vikings have gotten away with it just yet, to be honest. There's still a long way for them to go now that Double Pony is on the CT side, but you can see why they're taking a timeout. They want to be able to pace themselves. Speaking of pace, though, you know what else is at a very quick pace when you do put your faith in it?
Oh, yeah.
Go on, then.
Well, it's Trustly, because your payments are swift and quick when it comes to it. And it can be transferred from account to account with no problem whatsoever. Very easy process as well. No cards, no app download, no registration or anything. You can even use it when you head over to pinnacle.com/odds, where you'll find the latest in-apply offerings for Lyngby Vikings and Double Pony, respectively. And always remember that sports should be fun, so only play what you can afford. But to keep you safe, our full team terms and conditions will apply as well. Now, Lyngby Vikings 3-0 start, but it's now Double Pony bringing in a buy round. How do you feel about this one, Malderi?
This is their one chance to get back into it. They've bought down completely. If Double Pony somehow messed this one up, Lyngby Vikings, they basically have a free ride onto that finish line, onto the victory of map number 1. Afro, he's been very impactful in this game. Going 15-10 despite this kind of deficit. But needs to be putting up a lot more if he wants his team to be carried across the finish line. Ooh, flashbang is perfect.
It is, and Lucky still survives. He doesn't take much damage in the process, but Bird from Sky finally finds the closer. I think it's what you said, Malderi. This is what Double Pony need. Can they capitalize on it with that numbers advantage now? Because Lyngby Vikings, they haven't found any entry anywhere. Got utility to work with, a body still, making his presence towards the outside of things. Slowly peek through. Now Bird from Sky is in that dumpster cubby. But Dafu, not expecting that angle, will end up falling. Same could be said about body from Bird from Sky. And it is quickly traded out. 2 versus 3, and Lyngby Vikings, the scene is starting to come to a close, and for them to reach a wanted outcome, they need to act fast. 20 seconds on the clock. Time is ticking, and Exercise is there and waiting, lurking within the shadows as Lyngby Vikings will get spotted out, but they go for the vents, and Choco is there and waiting. Simple pickings for Double Pony as they get themselves a 7th.
This 5-round deficit isn't the worst in the world. If you're on the CT side, if you can start getting control of your money, if you can batter the side of the of the terrorists, it can potentially be smooth sailing. But as we know from experience, it hardly ever is. Manx now on the Desert Eagle. Everybody else, relatively barren. Got a couple Glocks here and there, but that's about it. Moving on over to ramp. Nate doesn't get a chance to be too spicy, save for a leg being blown off of Manx. Now, this should be mostly a throwaway round, so I don't know, man. Double Pony, they've... Of course, this is their own map pick, so I do expect them to have a bit of a comeback on the CT side, but do you think they could have allowed Lyngby Vikings to get too far?
Not sure, man. Definitely, I agree with the prospect that this is now the CT side and Double Pony's home ground. Which what makes me think that still a comeback is definitely in the cards. And the fact that they made their previous round so darn expensive, it automatically put Lyngby Vikings in that financial deficit right now. And it's a 4-round differential. By all means, they have ground to cover. But it's quite feasible, because as well, Lyngby Vikings, they're 4 rounds as well from closing things out.
The question for me is whether or not the CTs can hold on to enough weapons in each round, because constant buy-ups that give Lyngby Vikings too much of a leeway. Do they move on to the side here? I mean, they do have the door blown wide open.
Manx will be the first man to lead the charge, finding the first kill. Body able to find one, but Rouse quickly to return onto the site. Lucky still holds his ground, hasn't fallen just yet, taking damage. He's barely breathing. Rouse looking to get himself behind enemy lines, not spotted out. Exercise finding it. Dafu does bring things back for him, but he's all by himself. 1 kill to his name, but he needs to find another 2 if he wants things to go in his favor. Spotting out the head of 1. He's anticipating the backstab. Lucky will crouch peek every single corner. Dafu making his way onto the side, maybe to get himself control over that bomb. By the silo now, taking cover from heaven. Exercise not even looking at it at this point. They don't check where the bomb is. It's fairly surprising to me, but they know it's a 1v2 and they don't need to take any risks by holding difficult angles. Dafu is automatically under a pressing situation as soon as he puts the bomb down. But his time is slowly running out. And if he wants to head to either of the sites, he has to make that decision quickly.
Oh. Yeah, as you mentioned, 20 seconds on the clock. That doesn't favor his situation a lot more. And now he needs to contest Lucky. Dafu.
Lucky.
Yeah, that audio cue is too much. He spotted Lucky, though. And now the bomb can comfortably go down. It is suddenly a 1v1 that Dafu has a lot of control over. Mollying out Decon. Now he just needs to check the angles and make sure that Exercise can't get too comfortable. He's coming in from observation or double doors. Now he's got the choice, doesn't he?
Does Dafu wait for it? He's looking at the wrong side of the map here, and if it does come through observation, if it does come through control room, Dafu, he could be a dead man. Breaking through, that's the audio cue that he needed, but Exercise, the push was so quick that Dafu didn't have time to put his crosshair in the right position. The double pony, my word, it got dicey, but they come out ahead either way.
That clutch could have been the play of the day for Exercise, because I know that initially they were supposed to win the round anyway. It's not like Dafu should have been allowed to get that far anyway, but because Exercise is able to bring it back, now the scoreline is suddenly a lot more different. 12-9 with money is a lot more palatable than 13-8 with no money. And Lyngby Vikings, you can see that they're starting to feel the pressure of the money themselves. They're stepping into the shoes of the average CT, and now they know what a true economic deficit feels like. That Molotov doesn't really deter anybody going into secret. I think it landed a bit too narrow. Yeah, I think he just jumped over it as it was blooming, but Exercise has a lot of responsibility on his hands. Oh no.
Oh dear, they don't even check it. It's a 1-for-1 trade at the end of the day, so Lyngby Vikings still on the verge of taking this site. Body holding his ground, not for long. Manx able to capitalize on that. 3 versus 3 as they do push forwards. Afro now recuperating from that ramp side. He needs to be that corner piece of double pony here as the bomb does go down. They're being pressured. The foundations of the B site have already been crooked. Now with Incendiary thrown out, one of the entries are blocked, looking for that shot, but it does get difficult. Bird from Sky has a really important role to play in this as well, holding that first close angle. He may be the first responder, but it's Manx to blow the first shot coming through. Lucky does find the finishing blow onto Manx, but other than that, they're trying to get on site. Raul's still alive, still waiting, doors to open up, trying to find the closer. He's successful in doing so. I think he bought the time. He does have a kit.
Oh, I think
but
there's enough time to defuse.
Barely it is, isn't it?
Oh no, double pony. Somehow, they've gotten themselves to double digits. That shouldn't have been allowed whatsoever had he held down the line for a little bit. Just a little bit longer.
Just half a second. Literally half a second.
That clutch being dropped and Dafu not being able to secure the 1v1, that could have changed the outcome of the game entirely. Now double pony, they're looking a lot stronger.
I'm not surprised the timeout will come underway. They're under pressure. They bring things back. They seem pretty laid back, if you ask me. They look pretty fine. And if you guys want to be laid back when it comes to you transferring your money from account to account, Trustly is your place because it's so easy, it's so quick, it's so swift when you don't need any cards, no apps to download, and no registration. You can even use it in Pinnacle. Trustly is the place to go, and you'll always know that you'll have a safe place to store your money and also transfer it wherever you need it, even in your betting needs.
Lyngby Vikings seems like they're dead set on just hopping on over to the A-bomb site and narrowly missing the shots. Bird from Sky hasn't been able to connect. And Manx, he's got him the entry frag, so with body out of the equation, I think Lyngby Vikings can do a lot more.
From Sky getting the kill again. Lyngby Vikings, it looks like they're frustrated with the previous round. It looks like they want to come back, and I don't think the timeout really worked out on the double pony side, did it? Because Lyngby Vikings are starting to connect their shots. I think their blood is boiling at this point. Wouldn't be surprised if Afro stuck around to get an extra kill here. Find an exit frag. But other than that, I believe that Lyngby Vikings have done a stellar job to get themselves back into it. Although double pony, if you consider the round differential, it was 12-6, wasn't it? And now it's 12-10. That's 4 rounds in a row for double pony that have just been stopped. It's a one-way street that Lyngby Vikings have brought out. Double pony, at least for this round, won't be able to nudge forwards. Instead, Lyngby Vikings, they'll extend their lead by a slight bit.
For how long, though, is the question. Lyngby Vikings. They just need 3 more rounds, but at the same time, the double ponies, they're galloping forward. They've brought the round differential so close that at this point it is anybody's game, and I would be willing to bet that maybe it's a bit favored for double pony, considering the fact that this is their own map pick. Lyngby Vikings, they've gone for the initial nade for the door as they usually do. They have a little bit more attention on ramp. A couple players watching it. Max. They know that they find success in these duels when they try to take A the old-fashioned way, so perhaps that's the approach they're going for. A smoke comes out from the double pony side, and that'll deter their push for a little bit longer.
But he has to drop as the flames do. Move him out of position, spray down through the smoke, and it's successful. Bird from Sky is found. Manx drawn down low as well. It's an A to be the finishing blow onto him. Lyngby Vikings, just a second ago, they had a very dominant round. It seems like this game is full of Uno reverse cards.
Yeah, I think we've got a deck of them at this point. Yeah, nothing being allowed. The T is being shut down completely. A flawless round, with the exception that Joko just doesn't have a head on his shoulders anymore.
Man, the odds are ever so close, and it's little by little that you realize that anyone could stand the chance. Double pony currently slightly favored, but it changes so often at this point. It's a really close endeavor, this first map.
Christo wants to play around with his AWP a bit more proactively, but he doesn't have armor, so he's got to be extra careful with how he approaches this. All the way from Secret. Oh, Afro's burning up. I don't think you realized it in time, and that's going to cost him a fair bit of HP. So now at least he's on par with the opposing Opper, because no armor, no HP. Okay, I guess we can deal with that. Afro,
It's
though.
a handicap. Ooh.
No
Well, they can now definitely deal with that because he's dead. So, yeah, no, that's something double pony don't really like, because he was in a very strategical position there. Get so much information. Exercise does bring things back for him and his team. Lucky will aggress as well. Same will happen from A. So they now know what is going on. They now know what the what the setup doesn't look like. Therefore, by process of elimination, they can figure out it's either a secret play going on the backside of B, or they're slowly making their way around on the outside area, taking control of A.
Yeah, but they've cleared B as well, so now they should be knowing this. The CTs, they've got full control of outside. They have A, they have B, but they don't have Dafu just yet. This creates a lot of confusion for them, because now they don't know where the rest of the Lyngby Vikings players are, but I think they've announced their arrival. Body gets stuck in the Molotov for a little bit longer. 25 HP being taken away from him, and now the T's, they have a decisive stronghold on the A site.
And the fact that Davu even survives in that trade, when that audio cue was given over, it means that he's just an extra player that can withstand the damage of double pony. And if he fell, I think that double pony mate would have gone for it. A 3v3 is somewhat doable. But of course, they don't want to take too many chances. But Lyngby Vikings, they'll take this round. Christo taking that Dragon Law on to the next round. And it's 14-11 to their name with only 2 rounds remaining to take over their opponents as map pick.
The question is, are those actually 2 full rounds that Double Pony are going to get to play? Because as soon as they lose a round, they're in shambles. All they'll be able to muster up are Deagles. And Lyngby Vikings, they want to make sure of that. Christo, with the position that he's in with an AWP, I think he'll be ripping the head off of Exercise very soon. Not being too proactive with it, but I think Exercise wanted to get a little bit greedy, will end up costing him. Christo gets aggressive with the op, and that's ramp being cleared. But Double Pony, their immediate reaction is to clear out A, but there's a lurker in the midst of things. A wolf among the sheep, and that is Dafu.
Jocko still holding a very close angle here. Body, as you said, is able to grab out a kill. Manx does receive one in return, and Jocko's wide push doesn't quite work out in his favor. It's Lyngby Vikings now to be favored with a 4 versus 2 advantage. Double Pony, they're up against the wall and they need to act upon it quickly. Afro misses out on the shot. That's not what you need if you want to keep your team in the game, man. And Body is all that is remaining on the French side.
Oh.
Finds a kill. No, doesn't pull the trigger. Oh dear, Body does get 1 kill. Knows where Bird from Sky may approach from. Patiently waits for it, but Manx and Christo know. They don't have to do anything. Body realizes he's in a tough spot. He's in a jar full of pickles.
Oh, if only he chucked that nade down the vent instead. The Bird from Sky, as soon as he hears the audio cue from the HE grenade, that's good enough for him to pop out of it. This is a whack-a-mole game where the mole actually comes out of the hole and bites you back. Man, this is the situation that I was talking about. It's not like they get to play 2 full rounds. Look at their money. Double Deagles for Double Pony, an MP9, an AUG, an M4. A mixed bag. They've gone trick-or-treating for guns, and that's what they've come back with.
Coming to this one, Lyngby Vikings looking to bring things out for the final round. Favorite economically, favorite weapon-wise. Lucky, charming in a few shots in the dark, but also himself not doing so well. How was that a headshot? It was running.
Running through the
down.
smoke, USB, just all the qualifiers that, or modifiers that make it more impressive.
Yeah, you know what? Let's not question it. It's Counter-Strike. Rouse, though, in this line of fire. He's up against it. You cannot check that angle anytime. Drops down, makes it look spectacular. And honestly, it's all up to Exercise right now as Afro quickly got slaughtered. Spotted out, headshot connected, AK-47 to be picked up. He's got a big deal up ahead of him. His team's hopes are on his back. Lyngby Vikings, stellar start to this game, and it looks like it may be a stellar ending as well. Ooh. Getting 1, making things easier. 1v2, bomb not down yet, but it's Bird from Sky, quite literally from the heavens, take his life apart. 16-11 at map number 1. Vertigo up next, so do not go anywhere. Back again, ladies and gentlemen, here in this series, second map of Double Pony versus Lyngby Vikings, brought to you, of course, by our partners, Trustly. And it's a wonderful endeavor to see so far, but Lyngby Vikings taking over that first map. We'll look to get straight into it, into the action here, as we head over on to Vertigo.
This is a map I really like casting, so I'm excited to see it. And what makes it even more exciting is that Lyngby Vikings, they've won their opponent's map pick. So you can see why people might just favor Lyngby Vikings a little bit more now. Double Pony, they did seem to struggle a lot on Nuke, but let's see if they can change things around now.
And now Jock has to fall back from this, waiting for reinforcements. He was the only defender of this A site as Lyngby Vikings quickly getting themselves onto it. Smoke's setting as well. HG going to need to do some damage as they trickle on forwards, but Christu is the one taking the front force of that damage through the smoke as well. But the bomb does get planted in the end. Bird from Sky, barely surviving through it, but he jumps over instead, looking to capitalize on a kill. But no, Double Pony, they're playing this very safe. They're looking to trickle in all together. They're looking for a dynamic, explosive play, and I like this. But Christu, he's put himself in a really important position.
Yeah, he's playing up so close that it'll be very hard to spot him out. Do they check the angle? Yes, they do. Jocko runs around. Ferrari peak is successful. That's 4 kills coming out the way of the CTs, but Dafu, he stays alive for the longest time, but that's not good enough to keep them on the board. Double Pony, off to a smashing start.
Beautifully done.
What
1-0 on the board as well.
Don't see that too often on pistol rounds, do we?
No, they all held back, waiting for the push to commence, waiting for the bomb to settle. And someone gave the call, flash was drawn, and every single one of them just peeked through.
Double Pony, they're up ahead, and this is probably the start that they wanted, considering now they're on enemy territory. They've already lost out on their own turf, and now they're playing the harder duel. Manx got a Galil to work with. I would actually say that Lyngby Vikings have better weaponry than the CT side. Maybe not the best of utility, but the Galils definitely overwhelm the MP9s. Afro takes a bit of a scratch on his way out. 37 for him, but he has managed to tag down Raul significantly as well. Manx is the man that is supposed to keep them on the B-bomb site, but he's given up some audio cues that he's starting to back off, and I think that should be good enough for them to call in a few more rotations over there on the A site. Afro, good for one, even with 37.
Barely spotted out Raul's head there. Slightly visible amongst the mist. Pony looking to bounce back from their previous loss and now pushing through. Lyngby Vikings struggling to find the finishing blows. Christo on site, looking for the 2 players that have crossed already in towards scaffolding. Goes aggressive instead. Lucky delivers in that regard. Afro as well. There's nothing Lyngby Vikings can do. Double Pony, this is a stellar hold from them. And Bird from Sky is Bird from ground as he's been mowed down to it just like that. 2-0 for the French side.
Oh man, I love the jokes that can come off of his name. Just so many different puns, so many different situations. And you gotta appreciate a name like that.
There's not many like it, is there?
Mm-hmm. It's almost a sentence.
It is.
A poorly written one, as far as grammar goes, but it is. But Double Pony.
He should be playing Overwatch, because then you could say he was made for playing Pharah. Anyway, this is Counter-Strike. I don't even know if people know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, but getting back to the game at hand, Double Pony, they've picked up a Galil. They've been able to save quite a bit of money from the previous round because it was relatively flawless. So Lyngby Vikings, they're the ones that'll have to suffer economically. I don't see that too often on the terrorist side, but they don't come off to a smashing start. I mean, after the bomb plant, after the fact that they had Galils across the board, you would have expected to see a few more duels going their way. You know, really dent the savings account of Double Pony. But let's see what's going to happen around the smoke.
After them, waiting, hasn't been spotted out just yet, but the lineup for him. 2 kills going his way. Body as well does rejoice. 2 versus 4 in that endeavor. Body, he's got that lineup covered. He's not going to allow anyone to pass through Ward's ramp. Exercise on the back line. Even if they backtrack from it, they've got everyone in a position that can capitalize on their push or their drawback. Reload coming through, giving space from Bird from Sky to inch forwards. Jocko spots him. That's going to be a shot through the scaffolding as well, going his way. Dafo is left all by himself, poor man. Doesn't even have a rifle to call a buddy. And it's a 3-0 beginning as Double Pony unfolds to be ahead.
If they keep playing Vertigo like this, with this much fortitude, I wouldn't be surprised if they take it away. But this is where Lyngby Vikings finally get to strike back. 4 AKs and AWP in the hands of Christo, and this is one of those maps where the AWP battle can significantly change the outcome of the game. Don't see that too often on something like Mirage, but on Vertigo, the amount of domination you can have around ramp, that is brutal. Bird from Sky wants to aggress mid, but the Molotov burning up his posterior while he's getting shot at by Joko, no chance.
Now there's a 4v5 again favoring the French side. Lyngby Vikings, they need a resurgence here. On a tempo-based map like Vertigo, they want to make sure that Double Pony doesn't run away with this, really. It's becoming slightly difficult. Afro, the fact that he's still alive still means he can do damage. Still traverse through the map and pull that trigger. Which is all you require, really. Of course, if a gust of wind here and the tops of the skyscraper does blow, means it will be falling. But other than that, Lyngby Vikings, they've got their ideas set towards this A site. Seems like Double Pony are aware of this. They've got a set back approach towards this. AWP in the back line, spotting out one. Afro quick to react onto Christo. Not covering that angle is going to be costly. Lucky with the AWP as well. They're not giving them a chance. Lyngby Vikings, what do? Likely to fall back from this. They know that the player is fairly low, but where is he? Where is he hiding? They have to deal with so many other players as well. Not finishing the finishing blow onto Lucky will be their detriment. Body on the backside as well as Jocko does rejoice. It's a 4-0 again situation for the Double Pony side.
I'm not even sure how Afro was able to survive for that long with 2 points of health, but yeah, they had so many different angles to work with that they simply weren't able to point him out. But Double Pony, they're off to a smashing start. They are galloping away to the finish line, just as far as the rounds are concerned so far. Bird from Sky and Rouse, they'll be picking up a couple MAC-10s. Maybe they're hoping for a push here, and with the way they're positioned, no surprises. They want to head straight down mid. They want to overpower Joko. Can he deliver? A nade follows through that will be putting one player out of commission. Bird from Sky quite literally flies away like a bird, and 4 kills will go the way of the CT side. Make that 5 as the 5th round on the board appears for Double Pony.
At least Daffo gets a kill within that process, but it was fairly straightforward for them. And the odds, although they favour Lyngby Vikings overall in this series, as they have gotten that first map under wraps for them. Vertigo seems to be a one-way street so far, and it's Double Pony that is permitted access to it. But it's a buy round coming out, and a chance for Lyngby Vikings to draw things back in their favour before things get too late, before they get out of hand.
Christo, I think he does know that Afro's around the corner, but the smoke, it favors Afro instead. A favorable duel means that Lyngby Vikings have lost their primary sniper before the duels even ensue. Rouse is able to equalize the numbers, but that's at the cost of 50 of his own points of health, or 60.
Oh. Sky inching forwards. They do not know! They don't check it! That's an easy kill for him. Lucky has to draw back from it. He does capitalize on the kill, but other than that, Dafu does trade it through. 2 versus 3 and the B bomb site is being taken over. Bomb hasn't quite made its way, only just moving up from the stairs right now, which does give time for Double Pony to rejoice onto the site. Get their lineups correct. Still within the realms of possibility. Still 4 points of health and got a lot of utility available for them. Doing some chip damage from afar. But is it going to be enough?
Yeah, Lyngby Vikings, this is the one round where they actually seem like they have a shot. Are Joko and Body considering going for this? I mean, they are tossing a couple flashbangs. That was a botched flash. A smoke to allow them a bit more mobility, and they even have a Molotov to flush one out. That's exactly what they'll do, but the time is ticking down. So they need to get this done faster. Body, now he knows he's overcommitted. There's no way he's getting away from this. And unfortunately, that is all she wrote. Lyngby Vikings with the first round on the board.
At least they find it now rather than later, you know? Could have gone out of hand very quickly. I do give props to Double Pony for going for it. They know they had the money, so they weren't really risking too much. And at the same time, it shows that they show promise. They show aggression, which doesn't let Lyngby Vikings be set into their ways. Doesn't let them get comfortable at all. Default smoke coming in from ramp. Body gets a kill over onto Raz. Lucky, he had the right idea, had the right lineup, but it doesn't fall into place for him. But other than that, Lyngby Vikings, they're challenging towards the B site. Christo able to deliver. Bird from Sky as well. Catches exercise off guard. The tide of this game has changed completely. And they may find access. Lucky playing with a pixel. Slight position where he's got visibility over. But it's again, the Danes to have the numbers advantage, where Double Pony need to go for the comeback.
Lucky's trying to peek all the way around the corner, but he's flirting with death at the moment. Joko, as I mentioned that, he's barely on the brink of it with 1 point of health. Max comes around the corner, and he's playing off of the railing. Lucky picks up 1, but he's only good for just that. Joko, now he knows. He needs to get as far away from the blast zone as possible, because a gust of wind will make him land on another building.
Yeah, he's taking cover in that corner where wind can't catch him. Imagine if it comes from the other side though, and it's like, oh, never mind. Bye. Stops falling. Yeah, no, not a beautiful sight, is it? But for Lyngby Vikings, that's exactly what they needed. Having a couple of players remaining in the end, getting the round in their favor, scoring 2 in a row. That's what they need. They need to keep this ball rolling though if they want to catch up.
The issue for Lyngby Vikings is the fact that if they end up losing another round, then Lyngby Vikings are back in the driver's seat. It's just the nature of the T side that it's a lot easier to come back on, and that's because you have to fight against a lot fewer gun rounds. Lyngby Vikings. This is the one blockade that they have to get past, though. This toll booth will cost him a hefty sum of money. Joko, using a flashbang, comes around the corner. The smoke, even though it's dissipating, is still not good enough to cover him. 4 on 4. Body desperately trying to get a spray down around. The T's have the advantage now that the numbers are equalized and they're moving up ramp. Afro with an AWP. Body, perhaps they're getting ready for a boost here.
Moving on forwards, Body, yeah, that's the boost to come underway, but they're not looking at the right direction. Afro is looking at his buttocks instead of looking in the right direction. Damage inflicted, but no finishing blows. AWP for Afro, making it work. 2 kills going to his name, but Rolls capitalizes of 2 of his own. And now that's the space that they need to get this bomb planted. Incendiary smoke blocking the both entrances that Double Pony are looking to approach from. And Afro looking to hold the back of his teammate as well. How does Rolls play it? To fall back towards scaffolding and hold this line. Smoke again to be dropped, giving some space. Walks into it as well. That is very sneaky.
Yeah, Lyngby Vikings, I think they're set up. I don't think anybody's going to anticipate the smoke being used as cover. Exercise, he's trying to be extra careful. Rawls, there is so much chaos in the midst of all of this. But finally, Rawls will find his footing. He's spraying desperately through the smoke, and that's good enough. That's enough to interrupt the bomb defusal. And Lucky will have to back off. Does hold on to the M4, but that's about it.
It got dicey, but it really never did. And when it comes to Dafu in the end, because he wasn't the one being challenged, really. They were preoccupied with getting that bomb defused. And Lyngby Vikings are starting to square things up. As depicted from the Pinnacle odds. Still, they are in favor as they're 1-0 in the scoreline. And it may really turn your attention to the fact that Pinnacle has got a great offer on the line as well. Betting €10 on Esports gets you €10 in return. But you can only do that by signing up with the code CUP21. So remember, betting should be done in a fun and safe environment. So only bet what you can afford. Of course, full terms and conditions do apply in the meantime.
Yeah, and if you
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that, I mean, if you are going to head on over to Pinnacle, remember that you can use our partners over at Trustly, because they can make your payments flow quickly from account to account with no cars, no app download, and no registration. So, I mean, if you are going to go and check out Pinnacle, might as well use their payment gateway to make a deposit.
It's really cool how these sponsors work hand in hand, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Fairly convenient. Use Trustly, make your transfers to bet on Pinnacle.
Oh, but look at
Oh,
this.
safe and lovely environment. Barral's now pushing through. It's not really safe for Double Pony anymore because they've got pistols, only pistols ready to work with. They've got plenty of players on the side. They've got the read going on for them. But is it going to be enough? 2 kills going their way. Maybe that's enough. No rifles picked up just yet. Exercise. They're too far out of reach. And he will get shut down to the ground as well as Lyngby Vikings inch ever so close to Double Pony's scoreline.
Yeah, Lyngby, they do still have one more round to go against. And then, Double Pony, I think they might be digging into their Trustly accounts as well, because don't really have too much money to make payments with for more guns. Gonna have to be on an eco. But this is a very important round for either side. Lyngby Vikings slowly approaching mid. They have a bit of a 2 and 3 setup going on the terrorist side. Most of the commitment from the CTs, though, it is on A. They're playing this very heavy ramp setup where they're relying on one player to be able to hold down B and the mid player to, which is lucky, to just either get picks on mid or rotate on over if that is required. Lyngby, now, they're seeming a bit indecisive, but by the looks of things, their direction is headed towards B. Exercise is going to have a lot on his plate as they come his way, but Lucky has quickly joined him, and another rotation is coming as well.
Yeah, Lyngby Viking setup is spread across the map, really. I think it's a ossification technique that they're going for. Hinder their approach. Smokes out onto the B site, but without them continuing with the attack, Double Pony will slowly realize that that was never the intended target. Bomb drop, that's the information available. 20 seconds with Bird from Sky making his way towards connector. But Lucky knows he's there and waiting. Wizards crosshair exactly where it needs to be. Christo chiming in, but they line up for no one. Afro, only good for one, and Manx does deliver. Lucky still chiming in shots from afar, and that's exactly what he needs to put his team back into the driver's seat.
Lucky did a very, very commendable job there. Not only was he able to pick up a frag in the back lines, he also managed to drop the bomb there at the very end, and I think Afro did have the time to go for a bomb plant. There were 6 or 7 seconds, so Lucky single-handedly just saved the round there. There was nothing that the opposition could have done. Lyngby Vikings now. I know that most of our narrative was around whether or not Double Pony's economy gets broken down, but instead we're looking at Lyngby Vikings struggling in that same department. Double Pony are off to a pretty good start on their opponent's map pick, but they want to make the CT side pay more dividends. Ooh, I think Max has been spotted.
Oh, I think he has, but the flash is perfect, which does cause Exercise to move out of position. Still, at the same time, he's still alive. But from Sky, unable to find the closer. That's the AK-47 gone off the hands of the Danes. And now, Double Pony, 3 players are rejoiced onto the B site. In the meantime, though, A site. It's being gifted over. Afro fairly close to this endeavor if it does come down to it. But I don't think he'll be able to deal with this whole push all by himself. Maybe with a kill or 2. He's got the supports as well of body. Delivers with 1 blow. And Jocko is fairly close on the rotation as well. Rouse connects. Here's the crosshair set up from his opponents. Lyngby Vikings, they've got a setup going for them. Smoke out as well. Do they expect Rouse's angle? They do not. Trying to line up a flash. Lucky gets caught off guard. Body gets himself the trade. Bird from Sky from the backside of things looks to hold things out, but with a smoke, Double Pony will look to go for the defuse. Touch hasn't come down just yet. Only just. Who will start spraying through?
Oh, just one bullet is needed.
He's solo as well, and he's able to get it through. That is insane! Double Pony get this win and get themselves a 7th round on the board as well.
Exercise shouldn't have stayed alive at all there. He barely had any HP to work with, and the Deagle spam, that was almost on target, but the inaccuracy, just the spam of it, made sure that no bullets would connect. Still within arm's reach, though, Lyngby Vikings, they want to bring it back, and they definitely have the opportunity to get the half win. Double Pony. Lots of attention early on the B-bomb side. Afro spots one, puts him out of commission, wants to go for another one, but the AWP has been recovered.
Mind you, the last round was a full investment, therefore Lyngby Vikings are only buying up in this round with a loss bonus. Still, numbers equal across the board, though when it comes to utility, Lyngby Vikings seem to be out of stock. Ooh, Manx, this is perfect. Does take a dink to the head, but other than that, he still runs away with a kill. Body swings out, connects the shot as Lucky holds down his line so the push doesn't commence. The bomb right on top of the box there. It can't be collected if it's not jumped upon. Exercise knows of this, and Duffo will get taken care of. 8-4, Double Pony, double the amount of rounds Lyngby Vikings have so far, and they're showing dominance now on the CT side.
The big question is, if Double Pony have 8 rounds, would Lyngby Vikings be considered a single pony at the moment? Big brain. Thinking emoji.
I think I've got 2 thinking emojis going on.
Yeah, they took a timeout to ponder over that.
Ridiculous, man. But you know what also is ridiculous? The offer that Pinnacle has to offer. With betting 10 euros on esports, you get 10 euros back. Of course, you must be a new customer and sign up with the code CUP21. In the process, you can do that by using the method of Trustly, where you can make payments quickly from account to account with no cards or ups or any registrations required to get things going. Always remember, a sport should be fun and only pay what you can afford. Keep on the safe side, and that's how you will end up having the most fun.
But back to the game, Lyngby Vikings. They're playing off of a very shoddy buy, and that is reflected in the fact that Jocko's already managed to take down Dafu with not much resistance at all. Lucky wants to chime in on the B-bomb side because that's something that Lyngby Vikings have actually been able to take significant control of. Meanwhile, though, Jocko being able to back up this far, does he get spotted out? Gets 1 kill, but now he's revealed his cards. This is such a good flank from Jocko. The way he can control their entire pace now, this is brutal. And he even manages to get a second one. He has no care in the world because while he's wasting their time, the rest of the CTs can comfortably get into better positions.
Thanks, though. Talking about better positions. Snuck himself in the back line there. Ouch. Lucky. Ooh, you would have thought he'd surprise them from that position, but no, Christo was there and waiting. All of a sudden, it's a 2-on-2. And well within possibility.
Yeah, Lyngby Vikings might just be getting their 5th round on the board, but Afro, he's got an AWP, and you know how deadly he can be. But with an MP9, he gets his feet spotted out first, and that's a better gun being recovered. Afro now in a 1v2. Holding the 1 skin that will probably power you up for a 1v2. What's the lore that he's going to write with this? A smoke to obscure their vision. He wants to try to bait them out, but they're not going to pull their triggers just yet. Not until he tries to tap the bomb. And Afro recognizes this. He knows that they've got no money to go into the next round, so instead he'll just be running away with that op.
Yeah, and you can see a body of a player just sitting, chilling near the bomb.
Unaffected by the explosion.
Not affected at all. Things don't bother him. It's a calm world. It's a peaceful world on top of an unbuilt skyscraper. But at least for Lyngby Vikings, things may be falling into place for them. Because Double Pony, they've run out of funds. It's actually interesting that they go for the full enforcement of that buy as well. Without too much money available for them, they're comfortable that they can put this in their favor. Flash out. Not yet showing their presence. It's all a matter of time, isn't it, Wildady?
Yeah, and I'm a bit surprised that Double Pony are able to get this much damage in already. Lyngby Vikings, they recognize that they've given up too much control. And oh, Joko's up to it once again. He's got a deagle, and the target he's picked is conveniently marinated for a kill. Dafu finally puts an end to his shenanigans before they can spiral out of control as they did last time, but in the meantime, Rouse has also snuck into the ace site. As long as he can avoid a headshot from the deagle from body, I think he should be good to take over the bomb site. 2 players for the CTs. Still committed to B. I like how careful they're being.
I like it too, but I wonder if Exercise does aggress throughout it. But I don't think he does. He still holds his ground towards the stairs of B, finally looking to peek through. But I think the call has already been made. They're not sure if it's ramp. But they know that they're not covering this connector area, which is why Lucky is going to peek it through. They now heard him. And that is going to be his downfall. It does get one in the process. Exercise still in the backline doing damage. And Double Pony may even have a chance in this because they've managed to collect some weapons here. AK in the hands of Exercise. This could be dangerous. Headshot does connect. Dafu closes the last play out, but it's a 1v2 remaining and he's only got 12 points of health.
Yeah, I like how he didn't jump over the stairs, but now the audio cue might be there. Do they check this, or do they anticipate him being... Do they anticipate him playing off of stairs just to play off of the headshot angle? He's trying the timeout quite far enough, but Afro knows the angle. How did Double Pony end up picking that one up? Lyngby Vikings majorly dropping the ball. And perhaps this could be the reason that we end up seeing map number 3.
I think they bamboozled themselves. I think they went for something too complicated, which gave room for Double Pony to get themselves on the back line and be a menace. Especially when the time started running out. When it was of essence the most. But it's the final buy round, the final round throughout this half. Can Lyngby Vikings get themselves at least a more favorable outcome in this half?
Oh, that nade was meant to be a lot juicier than it is, but... Bird from Sky wants to be a bit more proactive in how he approaches this, and a second player is crept forward, so Exercise will get caught off guard, but Manx doesn't get a chance to live a lot longer because Lucky knows exactly where he is. Rawls, in the meantime, cooking up a mess on the A bomb site. 3 players starting to approach it. And this is starting to look a bit favorable for the Lyngby Vikings side because the rotation hasn't been called in just yet. Body, he doesn't care because he can hold down the site all on his own.
Can indeed. Bomb hasn't been... well, it has been recovered. It hasn't been spotted from Double Pony yet, which does mean that Lyngby Vikings still have space to work with. Approaching the site is Double Pony. They hear the sound cue. They will all rejoice together for this retake. It should be a simple ordeal. So Lyngby Vikings aren't going to give them too much of a chance. They don't have any utility, which is what hurts the most for them. It would have made this hold a lot easier. To smoke. Dafu anticipating a flash, looking away just in time to peek through. Chrisu holding his ground, so does Dafu. All of a sudden, it's all up to Lucky. Flash coming through, connects some damage, but no, Dafu is there for the closer. 9-6 at half-time, with Lyngby Vikings favoured overall in this series.
I think the pistol round makes a significant difference here. Similarly to how we saw the pistol round winner run away, which was Lyngby Vikings on Nuke, I think it's the same deal for Double Pony. If they can manage to pick it up, that's a landslide to work off of. But if they don't, then that's Lyngby Vikings being able to secure a good enough economy on the CT side that they have very little to worry about. Then they just have to focus on their gameplay. And being their own map pick, I doubt that they would have a shaky CT side. Double Pony, we know that there are no slouches at this game. We know that they're still very comfortable with Vertigo.
Even though it is Lyngby Vikings' map pick, as you said, yeah, it's still anyone's game. Still looking promising, at least from the French side. They can translate this to a third map. That's where they would like Manx. Does he hear this commotion? Does he know there's some cheeky shenanigans going on towards this site? Does he expect the double boost? I don't think he does. Even if he did, he's already out of it. Choco delivers the headshot, and now Bird from Sky is the sole defender, waiting for teammates. Exercise takes him out of his misery as his teammates may arrive, but I think the damage has already been done. Looking to come across. Flashes not available. Every single one of the remaining players have only got Kevlars that they can work with. Rouse expecting Afro to go for an aggressive pick, and he goes for the swing instead. 3 against 3, still doable for Lyngby Vikings. Dafu, the only one with a kit. Exercise does connect the headshot, holding his ground. Dafu quick to return, but he's all by himself now, and Lucky will be able to deal with him nicely. Double digits, and as he said, the pistol round is very important, and Double Pony have just taken it.
Yeah, this is now Double Pony's chance to bridge the gap. Or I say bridge the gap, but what I really mean is bridge the gap in between maps. Because Lyngby Vikings, part of the reason that they were able to be so comfortable on map number 1 was because they won the pistol round after already having a lead. So they've sort of replicated that kind of success, but the big blockade that they still have to deal with are these deagles and the scout rifle in the hands of Christo, who wants to be aggressive in his approach, is playing around the sandbags area, maybe peek on over and spot someone through the smoke, but Afro will do just that. He's got laser visions, and it is flame on.
Full investments from the Danish side as well, so a loss here would hurt even more. The victory would be a well-welcomed outcome. Well, then you start to wonder, especially when the Danish side find themselves in such a deficit. What is the chance of Lyngby Vikings coming back from this map and having a potential to close things out to a 2-0? Because to me, it looks fairly slim right now.
The thing is, I know that Lyngby Vikings are very comfortable with how they can play around aggression. So once we get to see a buy round on their CT side, that's where we can really start to make judgments. And even this round isn't really out of their hands, because look at the HP on Double Pony. Everybody is within that one-shot category, with the exception of Exercise. So Lyngby Vikings, the question is whether or not they can make the right read. And as the timer ticks down, we know that the pistols become a lot more deadly. Coming up the stairs now, just one juicy nade could have ended them all, but that's not the case, because the CTs, they haven't really held on to one.
They really haven't. Double Pony easing forwards. Imagine if Lyngby Vikings had a couple of nades now.
Oh.
How much it would change the outcome of this round. At least the potential of it changing the outcome. Oz and Dafu, they don't mind getting a kill in this situation. I think they would happily allow that to happen. But Double Pony don't look like they want to give any away. Quite literally, 4 out of 5 are 1 or 2 shots away from death when it comes to the Eagles. But you know what? Double Pony nearly came back from a 12-6 deficit. Well, currently we'll be looking at an 11-6 deficit, this time in favor of Double Pony. And as he said, the buy round is what we're waiting for, and I think it's a round away.
Yeah, this is mostly just a throwaway.
Body now pushing through towards scaffolding, creating space for Double Pony to move up against this. Ooh! Unfortunate for Rolls. Takes a lot of damage in that process. Body looks to peek on through, and again, Rolls is being challenged time and time again. They got caught off guard. The timing with that spray down through the metal wall was exactly what they needed. Manx bringing out the Deagle, finds a kill. Can they find too much else? I don't think this should really be a difficult round for Double Pony to close out, especially with the weaponry they have at hand, especially how Lyngby Vikings have been treated so far. Christo will have to fall in a similar fashion as well. steamrolled by Jocko. Really, it's all up to Daffy right now, and the only thing you can hope for is a kill or two.
Yeah, have that scout rifle. Yeah, go on.
I was going to say 2 kills would be a stretch.
Yeah, what I was going to say was that had Lyngby Vikings had maybe the scout rifle work out in their favor on the A bomb site, perhaps we could have seen something off of it, but because that didn't come to fruition, now we see Double Pony flirting with the finish line. Not really the finish, not really grand finish line, maybe a checkpoint on their way to victory. If we do end up seeing this come to a closer for the Double Pony side, though, we will be seeing Overpass, and that's a map I really enjoy commentating on, a map I really enjoy watching. So it's a win-win for me.
Yeah, no, I love Overpass as well. I think it's, as a duo, probably is one of our most favorite ones, I guess. Dafu making it work against Jocko, and Century thrown out as well. Exercise has to backtrack from this. Again, it is Double Pony to find themselves in a really depthy situation. But Lyngby Vikings, they've come out ahead in numbers. They haven't dropped a single player throughout the process, so their retake on this will be a lot easier, to say the least. But it won't even come down to that. It's a flawless round to put Lyngby Vikings back on the radar.
And this is important. The keyword here is flawless, because as the CT side, that's one of your major responsibilities that you have to deal with. Make sure that all guns are alive. Getting away with rounds, that's almost secondary at some points because of how detrimental it can be if you don't have any weapons on your hands. And with a 5-round deficit, this is looking very similar to what we saw in Nuke. For Double Pony to come back, now maybe we see Lyngby Vikings do it, but will it be a fake comeback like Double Ponies? We're just going to have to find out. Lyngby Vikings, we know that they've got quite a bit of experience holding down this ramp area. Even in their past games on Vertigo, they've been able to topple some major teams. Afro takes a bit of a scratch.
Yeah, I don't think you can describe a bullet running through your body as a scratch, really.
Yeah, that too as a dink.
Yeah, no, the dink definitely not. But Lyngby Vikings, they're holding their ground quite a bit. Having weapons is a resurgence to their confidence. It's just a simple spray down through the scaffolding. They don't even have to look at each other. What is this round?
It's as if Lyngby Vikings brought 3 players worth of utility, just constantly barraging them with flash after nade after bullets. If you're on the Double Pony side, you just have your hands on your ears, your eyes shut, and you're just going la 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 la. That's all you, because flashbangs are the only thing you can hear anyway.
Yeah, you don't have enough hands, so you've got your eyes cover. You have your elbow covering your eyes, and you've got your hands trying to cover your ears simultaneously. It's a dreadful place to be in. Talking about a dreadful place to be in, I think Exercise is within one currently, because all of his teammates have left him. No longer alive, no longer with us. Poor man. It's a lonely world. But in 3 seconds, things should be reset, so no worries. He'll be back. He will rejoice again once more with his former comrades.
It's very important. It's very important that this is a second flawless round for the CT side, because that's exactly the kind of gameplay that Lyngby Vikings need to be putting up if they want even a chance at a timeout. Did I say timeout? Even a chance at closing it out 2-0 is what I meant. I think the graphic of the timeout probably just meshed something in my brain. Who knows?
Yeah, probably just slapped you while you were saying it. Timeout. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. But talking about timeout, I mean, maybe this gives you a chance to check the promotion that Pinnacle has got going for them. Betting €10 on Esports gets you €10 back using the code CUP21 as well. So, yeah, it's a really good place for all your betting needs. But of course, you need to be responsible, over the age of 18, and yeah. There are some terms and conditions that need to apply. And by using Trustly, you can get your transfers from account to account very quickly as well. But apart from that, I think that timeout was necessary, really. Make sure they don't lose on that advantage. Because Lyngby Vikings, they're slowly inching forwards, slowly closing that gap. And it's getting very scary if you're Double Pony.
the one big problem here is that Double Pony don't have an insurance policy like Lyngby Vikings do. They've already lost out their own map pick. Now they're about to do it on their opponents. Maybe they can still come away, because Exercise holding on to an AK can make a big difference. And it kind of does, because that's the only weapon that comes up with a kill. But now the scoreline differential is becoming smaller and smaller. Now look at that, will you, Pavlos? The odds now ever in the favor of Lyngby Vikings. And because they've had so many flawless rounds, they've got a mountain of gold to be sitting on.
I still think there is some faith in the Double Pony side, because it's not quite a massive difference, right? We've seen greater odd discrepancies. But I think if you consider Double Pony was the favorite in this series as a whole from the start, that's saying something. And the fact that they've got a lead here, there's definitely a chance for them. But the fact that Lyngby, as you said, have closed the gap quite substantially, still gives them a ticket, or at least access to a ticket, for a first victory in the Swiss stage of Pinnacle. But the A side is looking a site that Double Pony want to approach with just pistols and a MAC-10 onto body.
Body, potato, tomato, tomato.
Fair enough. Double Pony, they're going to grass onto this. They're looking for the kills as well as the bomb plant. Smoke coming underway, waiting for reinforcements. Not many players waiting around here. Flashes on time. Lucky will push with it as well. Exercise holding things back. Maybe this is doable. It is doable. Lucky picks up an AK-47, and all of a sudden Double Pony may be winning this. It's incredible. But what do Lyngby Vikings do in return?
Yeah, watch this, because Dafu, he can still come in from the back lines and make it a lot more expensive. Does Dafu have the fortitude to get through this? The time is starting to tick down, and the M4 is being put to good use. Now, the numbers starting to go in the favor of the CT side, but Lucky's position is way too good. Unchecked and unpunished. Double Pony, now they've got into 13, and this is so similar to what we saw on Nuke, didn't we?
Absolutely, but it's the sides that changed this time, right? Because Lyngby Vikings was that in that endeavor, correct? Now it's Double Pony getting themselves a pissed round, or at least a week by. Go their way is exactly what they needed to put them right back with control over the reins. That's what they need. Control the pace. Lyngby Vikings, they've got a buy in them still, and still a chance to close things up. Getting the double digits would be a resurgence in confidence, and Manx is waiting for a push here. Finds it simply enough, but he needs to anticipate more.
Manx, he is able to get 2. This is Lyngby Vikings' chance to potentially take away money from the Double Pony side once more. Smoke goes out to deter their progress, a Molotov to keep them off the bomb plan, and this is where Double Pony are starting to get second-guess themselves. A run boost being prepped up. Exercise wants to be the bird. The bird from Sky himself, the man who possesses the name, will be shutting him down. That should be all she wrote, and Afro, he's been taken out of the server.
That was a vital round for Lyngby Vikings, because that would have brought Double Pony to that 14th if it came to that situation. Became dicey. Very dicey. But now at least they've restored some calmness in the world. Giving them space to breathe the fresh air of oxygen. Fresh breath of oxygen.
We're about to say water as well, which really concerned me. I mean, have you been hiding gills?
Oh, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a fish.
Mm-hmm.
Fishman.
Fishman.
Should that be my name instead of X-Warrior? Fishman?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. No, definitely not.
X-Fish.
X-Fish. Used to be a fish, but now...
Mm-hmm. I mean, we already have a producer named Fish, so I don't think we can infringe on his name, so we're going to have to let this idea go.
Yeah. Let it sidetrack. He's the one and only true fish.
Mm-hmm.
Out of it, Lyngby Vikings, though, they've got their sights on what is going on. Dafu is able to succeed in that regard. He knows exactly what's going on. AWP there, Manx there, and waiting. Spray down coming through. Bird from Sky as well. Dafu rejoices for another. It's a clean mowdown. Just Afro manages to chime in with a kill of his own. Headshot connected. But I don't think he'll be able to grab anything else. Lyngby Vikings, they're ever so close approaching that scoreline. And you can see that reflected in the odds. they could close things out here.
Oh, this round is so important for either side. Afro won the AWP, Cristo won the same. But I think it's a bit more important for Double Pony, if anything, because they've been brought down to 100 for the most part. I think it's only Body that even has enough for a smoke. Double Pony have a lot of attention on B this time around. Do Lyngby Vikings react? They only have 2 players at the ready at the moment, and a boost is about to come their way. And this is a boost that is often very easily predicted, so I don't really know if that's going to work out in their favor, but I guess we'll just have to find out.
It needs to come in hand with a set of utility as well. Either a flash or a smoke to keep it saved out, so it's not spotted. You can already see the incendiaries giving them space, and that's what they need. That's the corner they were looking for. Daffo is out of it, and all of a sudden, Double Pony may have a chance in between the smoke. Raul's grabbing 1 kill as Cristo assists with a flash on the back line. He misses out on a shot, but Raul's looks to capitalize. Eventually, the finisher does come through from Cristo, but is it good enough? 3 against 3 in exercise is challenging on the other side of the map. It looks like Manx is anticipating it, and Jocko has to fall. Exercise wins on his occasion. Manx has to fall, but it's a 2v2. And Double Pony slowly gaining access to this B site.
I'm not sure how effective that flashbang would be, but Cristo, he barely catches a pixel, and this time I actually mean it. Body, there's no chance he had to even respond to that. Nothing being shown. Exercise, he's the man in charge. 1v2, both low. Does he get the 1v2? He's made it a lot more doable, but with only 10 seconds remaining. Needs to get the bomb, needs to get the plant, and I don't think he'll be allowed that opportunity. Walking straight onto the bomb site now, he's been spotted out. Oh, he's too late.
Ooh.
The CT just wants to run away. He's chasing down Bird from Sky, but it's not close enough. Lyngby Vikings, they brought it to 12.
Yeah, smart from Bird from Sky as well to just show his presence so the bomb doesn't commence. And was able to outplay his opponent just by merely looking at him. That was a very important round for Double Pony as well, because that was a full-on buy round. Now, within the they've hit that economical collapse point. But they can only work with Deagles. AWP at play though from Afro, obviously as it was saved previously. But it's gonna have to be good enough. At least put a dent into the economy of Lyngby Vikings to make the finisher a lot easier for them.
This is so back and forth. Oh, bit of a dink, but I'm not sure how Rouse only takes 2 points of HP off of that. Afro's the man in charge though, because he had an AWP firmly gripped into his hands. Now he has to move forward because the Molotov has brought him out of his position. He has been lured out. Rouse, I think he might be ready for this. Afro being extra careful, tries to jump up, cannot spot the player in time, and Rouse is happy to capitalize. That's another AWP out of their hands, so...
Not quite sure how expecting... Okay, I'm just going to scratch that thought from coming across, because I thought that Exercise's position hasn't been spotted. But maybe that bomb plant would be exactly the extra piece of dollar signs that they'll have in their back accounts that could give them extra utility that next round, potentially.
No way Lucky
extra
does
kill
this.
as well. It's got an M4. The diffuser's started. No utility, apart from a flash. Peeks through. Rouse is there to collect it. It is the equalizer, but a fairly expensive round for Lyngby Vikings, considering what Double Pony bought into this round.
Now, Lucky is almost on that double digits mark, so he's been putting up some valiant efforts with regards to getting his team closer to the finish line. It hasn't been fully paying off, but it's at least kept them in the race this long. Lyngby Vikings, they have a lot less to worry about than Double Pony, because although the loss bonus on Double Pony is not terrible, they haven't been winning too many rounds. Lyngby are the ones that are in charge of a trust fund at the moment. Cristo wants to play this a lot more aggressively than he generally does, playing around the sandbags position, and he hasn't been flashed out even. Maybe he's anticipating Afro to go for the boost behind the box. This is a bit of a stalemate so far, but the utility from the supporting players on the A side is making sure that they'll be kept at bay. Both players playing a very nerve-wracking duel at the moment. Ooh, juicy nade, since it does spread damage evenly across the board. Brings 3 players into that headshot range.
Smoke out as well, damage inflicted across the board, but Crystal, they line up for him! 2 versus 2, and Bad from Sky has already found himself onto the A site to defend. Oh, look, to reposition from scaffolding as well. Will Body expect this? He's lining up as Smoke peeks out just in time, but Dafu and Bird from Sky are there to deliver. The comeback has come underway. It is going to be that 14-13 scoreline unless Exercise comes up with madness. With seeing the limited time he has available, it becomes more difficult by the second. If you're Double Pony right now, surely you must be in a really stressful spot.
Oh, you can see why he's going for this. He wants to make sure that they have a chance at giving it an AWP to Afro. Lyngby Vikings, now that they've only got a couple rounds away from them, I'm sure they're starting to feel a lot better, and you can see that being reflected in the odds so heavily. 1.079 to the 8.7 sum of Double Pony. You can see this game slipping out of their hands, especially in the eyes of the viewers. That op does complete the buy-up, though. Double Pony, they can buy up AKs, they can have an AWP. You still have a Galil for Exercise, who was surprisingly the one that had to give up the AWP, but man, this is a tough spot to be in.
It is a difficult endeavor for sure. Lyngby Vikings looking to solidify their advantage from the get-go. HE grenade. Quite a bit of damage onto Jocko there. Keeps him alive as well as takes a few bullets through the walls of that scaffolding area. Apart from that, Double Pony, they've stacked 3 players onto the ramp site, shortly to be 4 as Lucky rejoices from behind. They've left Exercise on their backline duty. Maybe to go in for a flank. Smokes. Do you permit the cross? Rouse expects it, sprays down, another one. Doesn't expect Jocko's aggressiveness though, and now has to move out position. Jocko gets 2 kills. This could be the equalizer they need.
Absolutely, but the flashbang is perfect. Dafu's good for 1, but the response is there. Manx and Christo, now they have to quickly ask themselves the question, do we go for this? Because money's looking limited, and I think the answer has been struck. It's no, in capitals.
They've come to an understanding that this cannot be. Double Pony, they bounce back. It's a back and forth. We talked about this well, Daddy, and it's exactly what we thought it to be, but even more, actually. The fact that Lyngby Vikings was so competitive on their opponents' map pick, and now the same could be said about Double Pony onto Lyngby's map pick. We won't be seeing match point yet. Double Pony will have a say in the affair before that happens. Ooh, timing not quite right for Manx, although Christo stays alive, getting a kill in the process. But at the end of the day, it's 14-14.
Either team, they've got a lot at stake, but I do think that Double Pony feel a lot more pressure. Once again, as I mentioned before, the insurance policy isn't available for Double Pony, so losing out on this map means that they lose out on their first victory, their first potential victory in the Swiss stages. Christo playing it very aggressively, but he's gotten caught out through the scaffolding. 2-for-1 trade, the T is heavily favored.
Injury thrown out as well. Peeking through, Bird from Sky wins this trade. That's going to be a 3-on-3 endeavor now. Not only close in the round scoreline, but in the current round as it stands. It's a gamble they're going towards the B site, but it may hold true. and may be correct. Because look where Double Pony are heading. 1 minute
Lyngby
remaining.
Vikings. Yeah, they've read this perfectly. They've rotated all 3 players over to the B-bomb side. This should be a disaster for Double Pony. Now, playing around the smoke, Max has got a huge responsibility, but he does have backup. 55 seconds remaining, and Double Pony, they've seemed to committed to this. Max cannot spot anything because the flashbang's perfect. 2-for-1 trade. Afro lands a shot, and now he just needs to find one more. Both need to get a 3K, but the no-scope does not get fired off. Lyngby Vikings bring it to match and potentially series point.
It was so close, but Lyngby Vikings had the correct read. They knew exactly what was going on, and they went full all in to that B-bomb site, and it worked out. It was dicey, it was close, and it was a 1v1 face-off with Afro, where they succeeded. And as you mentioned, Faraz, it is a 15-14 situation favoring the Lyngby Viking side, which could get them across the finish line, which could give them the series win. That 1-0 in the Swiss stage, exactly where they want to be. Shot not quite connecting, but Lyngby Vikings now hold strong with a lot of utility.
Yeah, Christo had nearly 2 connected shots, but not quite. Joko, he's playing up so close. Bird from Sky should be anticipating it, but he starts running around during the spray down. A 1-for-1 trade ensues, and Christo, he's got a lot of work to do. Lots of heavy lifting. Preemptively throws down the smoke to protect himself from the Molotov, and a nade comes out to help him as well. Christo, now he's playing from the railing. He wants to find a vertical angle that he can peek over, and 2 players will be helping him out if the A-side push ensues. But watch
now Christo
this.
has to drop back, cap through the smoke that Afro can well work around with. As it dissipates, he's got that position onto sandbags that could catch Lyngby Vikings off guard. Still equal in numbers. The 1 minute timer has clocked down to 52 seconds. Afro still hasn't shown his card, but Daffo, it seems like he's anticipating it. Every single player from the Lyngby Vikings side is here and waiting. It's a shooting range coming through. Afro only successful. It's a shooting range shooting back at him. Christo delivers with an AWP shot. Lucky scrambling to find a kill. Exercise finally finds one, but it's against 2 players, both holding down a very similar angle. Can they line up for him? I'm not sure. He sprays down. Exercise! What is that?
That shouldn't have been an overtime. How does Exercise do it? 2 bullets fired and 2 bullets connected. My word.
I am simply starstruck by that positioning. Exercise, he pushed in like a madman. 1-2. The Lodge helped out in his favor. He's a beast, and he's inhuman. And he gives Double Pony a chance to head it over to map number 3. We're going to overtime, Alderi.
I don't know. I don't know what to say after that. But it seems like we've gotten right into the game. Not too often that you see something like this. But this is where everything is reset. Both teams once again have a chance at bringing it back. But I do think that the CT side is a little bit more favored because they can play off the double op setup. They can take full advantage of the CT side positioning because they don't have to worry about money, and Christo will be doing just that.
Looking to put a dent into the attacking side of Double Pony already. From Sky now on the backside, doing damage. Ooh, Joko delivers 4 versus 4 already. Damage will cross the board, but the finishes are struggling to be commenced. Exercise again. Rails delivers 2 versus 3, and it's this time the French side that is favored. For us, imagine this going to map number 3.
I mean, what a way it would be to end out the series, but Christo, he's quickly equalized the numbers. Now the CT side has a much better chance at going for this exercise because he's playing so close. He'll be a terribly difficult angle to clear out, but they don't care about money. They've got 10K in the pocket, baby, and they'll be going for it. No scope does not connect, and Lucky is happy to pick up the second. Double Pony right back at it.
They are indeed. Now they're the ones in the lead. They've got the reins over a third pony at the game. They close us out. I think we may as well call them triple pony.
Uh-huh.
Double AWP setter from the Lyngby Vikings side. They want to make sure that they can grab out as much as possible. The nade damage from the double pony side is immaculate, though.
Yeah, and Body even sweetens the deal by getting a kill through the smoke, so Christo's been put out of commission entirely. Now, let's see the reaction that Double Pony have. They want to move up to the B site. Lyngby Vikings, in the meantime, they're scrambling to potentially equalize the numbers. But it's simply not the case being allowed because Double Pony, they're not exposing any isolated players at all. Maybe Manx would have had a shot, but he rotated away in time. Oh, narrowly missing, but he doesn't get the shot.
And now Dafu has to respond quickly. Jocko does find the trade kill. Dafu already with 3 kills to his name. Ooh, does come through with the backstab though. Exercise rejoices. Bird from Sky, they know where he is. They're both holding down that angle. If they one by one peek him, there's a potential for him to actually beat this. Pushes up. The bomb has been planted. Not delivered. They try and get the kill simultaneously. Draws out the pistol. But no, Exercise delivers. Man, this is so close. But Double Pony come out on top.
Now you can see that Double Pony are feeling a lot more comfortable. They're starting to flex their muscles a little bit more. They've got a lot of leg room to work with. Even if they make a mistake here, they get back on the advantageous side with tons of money. So instead, it's Lyngby Vikings that should be worried at this point. They almost had the game had it not been for the lineup. Almost. Just 2 shots coming out of the barrel of Exercise could be the difference maker here.
They get a 3-0 start to the overtime. That's the confidence boost they require. Body starts things off with first blood to his name.
Yeah, Crystal was also on the edge there. I mean, he's just going to fall off the building and land in the graveyard next door.
Bird from Sky, though, he'll aggress as well in the process. Lucky down to 18 points of health, although does get 1 kill in the process. Bird from Sky, he's in a very aggressive position, but the damage inflicted on him means that he has to back off from that fight. That's not what you want to do if you're Lyngby Vikings. Double Pony. Taking advantage of the fact that Lyngby Vikings may be salty after that loss on Series Point. And from a potential 2-0 for Lyngby Vikings, we might be seeing an overtime going the way of Double Pony and potentially one more map to be played. Overpass still well within reason to be played out.
Slowly but surely, Double Pony, they're making their way towards the B-bomb site, and that's not something that Lyngby Vikings are particularly ready for because all 3 of their players, they were closer to A. Oh, this is perfect for Exercise. They'll be walking into his crosshairs, and it seems like lineups are favoring this guy all day today.
It does seem like that, doesn't it? And an 18-15 situation for Double Pony will mean that they are now on map points. And on the verge of taking things to another map, to Overpass. Oh, how the odds have changed. Pinnacle Cup showing that it is Double Pony to be favored in this series. If they close things out, they may be able to draw that momentum in their favor. How the turntables.
How the Tibbles tobble. How the Tibbles Toblerone. Just keep going with it, you know?
I love some Toblerone now that you mention it. Haven't had that chocolate in so long.
Oh, I think I might have not had it in a couple of years, actually.
Maybe same for me too. Maybe longer than that. Smokes to be drawn out. Lyngby Vikings are going to push through. Rolls with that AK-47 looking to push through. Damage inflicted onto them from nades. They're looking to take this to fight towards Double Pony, but it's all going to the side of the French. Dafu able to deliver, but it's Manx. The only player to really get a kill on that endeavor. Bird from Sky holding his ground. Not going to give anything away to Double Pony that easily, but Christo, he needs a miracle. A 1v2 to go his way to keep his team in the game. Finds one. Down to a duel. Bomb picked
he's
up, but where
burned
does it
up
go
so
for this?
much. I think he will anticipate exercise coming around from the A site, so want to see if he holds down the angle with the AWP. Now, he wants to be extra careful. This would be the 1v2 to keep them in the game, keep them as contenders for double overtime. Exercise. He might have been the man who was getting lineups left and right, but can he deliver? Can he close it out right here and right now? Apparently not, because Christo, he's got his number and he's dialed it in.
Lyngby Vikings, they're still in it. Not going to give away from it that easily, although Double Pony still are on map points. That may be the resurgence of confidence that the Danish side needs. Fist bumps across the board, I imagine. Confidence and determination. They can perhaps take it to a second overtime here. Double up set up again from the French side, though, and Staffer's aggressiveness to pay off. Jocko needs to hold in his ground, but the flash is on time. Moves away from it, Incendiary to block their charge. But he will opt to hide between the smokes instead. Body will rejoice with him. But apart from that, Lyngby Vikings back out from that angle and may look to go towards ramp instead.
Oh, thanks. Mangs, that was almost a free kill for him, but Exercise, he's botched it. 4-on-4 as Lyngby Vikings. They're struggling to get on to double OT now. Recalibrating their positions, going up the ladder because they want to approach mid instead. What is the play that they go for? Joko, it seems like he always finds himself in the terrorist spawn, but will he be checked out? It seems like he might just be meeting them halfsies.
The B side is open though. They
Yeah, that's
don't
the big
know
one,
that they're over there. Oh dear, Exercise is not looking at the right timing, and timing will not be in his favor. Body, nothing he can do. Dafu is able to deal with him. And now they're going after the B side. They know it's clear, or at least they'll realize it soon enough. Afro has to go for the swing, but Bird from Sky is there to deliver. They're not out of it just yet, and they know it's Jocko. He's under pressure now in that 1v3. He's going to go for it. They've got money for days. This is overtime after all. He's going to give it a bet, give it his best. Imagine if he wins it. Now that would be a butt clincher, but no, Dafu holds his ground without too much problem. And Lyngby Vikings, 1 point away from taking things to a double overtime.
You mentioned that they've got money for days, but they actually don't. The CT side economy makes it so much harder to buy up entirely, even if you have $5,000. But of course, we are going to be seeing a timeout, so maybe you can go ahead and check out Pinnacle. I mean, those are the odds you've been seeing all day today. At pinnacle.com/odds, you can go ahead and get a sign-up bonus of 10 euros. If you deposit 10 euros, you get 10 euros back as a bonus. But make sure you only bet what you can afford to lose. And yeah, terms and conditions apply.
Lyngby Vikings, they fought hard past couple of rounds. And now, an inch away from taking things to another overtime. Give him another chance for that 2-0. Double Pony. They want to close things up here. This could be their final countdown. Of course, this is the first series in the main Swiss. No elimination or progression by default from this victory, but they set themselves up nicely in the tournament bracket. That's what both of these teams want. I think both of these teams are capable of a playoffs qualification. Exercise now, throwing down the smoke. Now on the CT side, Double Pony, he's been spotted out. Manx will push through. That's going to be the damage inflicted upon him. Lyngby Vikings, they've got the site take. They've got the bomb on it, and they've got the numbers advantage. Double Pony, they need a stellar retake to draw things back in their favor.
This could be it. It's only 4 players on the CT side. They're moving right in, but Bird from Sky, he's put Body out of commission. Ladies and gentlemen, we might just be heading on over to double overtime because there is no way that they can get past this fortress. The 18th about to ring true for Lyngby Vikings, but Afro makes it a little bit more palatable. Manx, he wants to swing out. The bomb is ticked halfway down, moving through from the generators. The flashbang is good, but there are simply too many players to take care of. Around the smokes, around the bodies, around the bullets. They're still trying to stay true, but Lucky's only on 1 point of health, and there is no way he can do anything else. It's double overtime, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, there you have it. Lyngby Vikings have brought things back. 18-18. Double Pony denied from that victory, at least for the time being. There's definitely another chance for that to happen. But it's been a back and forth. We saw Lyngby Vikings on that 15th round for quite a few rounds. We also saw Double Pony on that 18th round for 3 rounds in a row.
The empty chairs on Lyngby Vikings.
Yeah, no, it's been a stressful situation. I imagine the lavatories will be quite occupied. I don't blame them either.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, double overtime is a fickle affair. If you just notice that cool little banner and that little piece of graffiti on the generator, it's all about Trustly. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Pavlos?
Oh yeah, Trustly is essentially a place where you can make your payments very quickly, swiftly, and safely from account to account, and without having to use cards, use an app, or registration. And you can even make payments via Trustly at pinnacle.com/odds, where you'll see great odds for the current matchup, Lyngby Vikings versus the Double Pony side here. Always remember, though, when it does come to betting, make sure you're safe, make sure you bet responsibly, and only bet what you can afford to. But other than that, it's your game to play. Also, there is a nice little offer that Pinnacle is offering. 10 euros on the bet for esports. You get 10 euros in return, but of course you need to sign up with the code CUP21. You may also want to take advantage of that offer as the players do take that lavatory break. Apart from that, Aldetti, how do you see this game coming to an end? Because there's really not much to distinguish these two sides right now.
I mean, you are putting me on the spot, but this is honestly anybody's game. Because of how, if a game goes to double overtime, then obviously you can follow the logical conclusion that, okay, yeah, these teams are close enough that the first one that makes a mistake is the one that's going to lose. And that is something that's impossible to predict. If I had to give the edge to someone, maybe I'd give it to Double Pony, but right now they might be feeling the pressure of giving up an insane opportunity as well. So who knows?
Giving away a 3-0 start from an overtime. Bounce back from a 3-0 deficit on the next half. It's a tough ordeal to face. Aggression. Mac-10 works out. Doesn't even care to buy an AK-47. Puts it to good use. Lucky does get the trade on forwards, although the decision has been made by Lyngby Vikings thus yet. But he's so up close to the smoke, though.
Oh, I think they're going to spot him because Rawls has the right angle.
Oh, the potential is so great. It's massive, and it pulls ahead. Rolls, shuts him down eventually, but Double Pony come ahead in that regard. Is that all they require? Space to move up across ramp is what they're looking for right now. They do have that situation available for them. Though the numbers advantage for Double Pony may be exactly what they require to close things out.
If they can isolate Joko, then at that point they can bring it down to a 2v2, but the smokes mean that he will be kept at bay until the very end. He's going to line up a Molotov for himself so he can deny the bomb plan, and I think they should be predicting this. Dafu immediately gets off of the bomb, and he has a little Molotov of his own to make sure that they can be kept at bay. Now, another nade being lined up, waiting for the audio cue, and this is very tricky for the T side. Those pieces of utility just make it so much harder, but look at that, Rawls. He's doing it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, patiently sneaking through. Running out on the trade, aggressively onwards. It's the nade onto Dafu and the AWP onto Raz. That gives Lucky that final 2k. Overall, 3-piece that entire round. That puts Double Pony now on top, 19-18 on the second overtime.
That's something I've always had a bit of an uncertain opinion about. I'm not sure if I like the fact that it's so easy to spam the bomb plant position on Vertigo with nades, because on one hand, it incentivizes saving utility, but on the other hand, it can honestly be very tough for the T's to do anything about it. Joko, I think he's taking a play out of Body's book.
Raz peeks through and the flash is perfect though. Lyngby Vikings are able to capitalize on that situation. They have the numbers advantage by a mile. Raz put a handbrake on this guy because it looks like he only knows the way to a gas pedal. Full on pushing it, full throttle. And now Exercise and Lucky are completely locked out of the sight. It's the mollies keeping them at bay. And it's a 4v2 endeavor that could mean that Lyngby Vikings are close to that equalizer. One after the other, the mollies fall and set. And there's still one more available that has just been thrown. Lucky cannot approach this, and that must be very triggering for him.
Couple smokes come out. Now, they still want to go for this because they can at least isolate the closer duels, but it doesn't matter. Bird from Sky, even in the midst of the flashbangs, he will still get it done. Lucky, he knows that they've got plenty of money, so even if he's playing for bonus points, he's happy to go for it. Avoids the flashbang, but unfortunately, Dafu's bullets are a lot more permanent. Two players on the 30 kill mark for the T side. One for the CT. It's just Lucky that's been trying to put up the numbers. Afro isn't too far behind, but yes, Lucky has been the standout player.
Chris through now with an aggressive lineup towards that B site. No aggression to be shown from Double Pony, therefore no catalyzation coming through from that position. Raz may look to find an avenue towards that ramp side. Keep Double Pony occupied throughout the map. Not give them the appropriate awareness towards each site, causing them to be forced to a gamble. Boost coming underway. Body jumps up. This could be a vital position for them to grab out a first kill here. But no aggression has been shown for Lyngby Vikings yet. But maybe this will be it. Oh dear, he's looking at the wrong angle. A move up towards ramp, but 4x3 won't give him that positioning awareness now. Spots out Dafu, spray down, takes him quite some time, which Bird from Sky and Raz are able to push and capitalize on that regard as well. It's a third to come underway, and for that reason, the A site is being taken over, with 2 players remaining from the Double Pony side.
Yeah, Lyngby Vikings, they basically have it under lockdown at this point. Exercise and Lucky. I don't know what they can really do off of this. Lucky's been brought down to 70. Crystal will put Exercise in the grave, and that just leaves Lucky to hope that he has 2 knives to split his bullets into 4 and somehow hit everybody, and that's not happening, let's be honest.
It's not, and Pinnacle do show with their odds that Lyngby Vikings look to be the favourites now, being ahead. Order may have been restored from their previous point where they were on that 15th round for quite some time. And when it seemed like they could have closed it out, it was a 1 versus 2 from Exercise to turn the tide completely. 2 rounds required for the Danes, and 1 to the French of Double Pony.
Now, none of the teams can feel too comfortable. When you're on double overtime, things can get tricky. But Double Pony are the ones that are feeling the pressure now, being on the terrorist side. Lyngby Vikings, it's been a while since they've been on the CT, but this is where they can start to make it work. Rawls, he didn't preemptively have the smoke ready, but it doesn't matter because Bird from Sky, he can hold down the line long enough to save a teammate, flashes for himself, but the Molotov will keep him at bay. Double Pony, they've lost the advantage. They've lost the advantage in the grand scheme of things as well, and they have an additional angle to clear out because they don't know if the player in sandbags is still there, so additional utility must be deployed or have extra resources committed to it. You can see how indecisive Double Pony look as they're coming up the ramp. They want to find themselves a duel, but Exercise, he's quickly been deposited in the graveyard.
Spam out 3v5. Jocko aggresses Afro as well, puts his dent into the lineup of Lyngby Vikings. Still struggling to find numbers, but at least they look a little more healthy when it comes to HP.
Watch out, Pavlos, they don't have a smoke. One Molotov will just end the round for them.
It does go
Oh,
wide
no.
though, so it doesn't. Lucky won't be able to hold his ground though as Manx aggresses onwards. Lucky for the shots, they succeed. Jocko delivers with 2. He needs 2 more to put Double Pony back onto the 20 mark. But Christu has got the lineup right, and it's going to be the fuse coming in from Lyngby Vikings, putting them for yet another time on map and series points.
Lyngby Vikings could have actually ended the round right there and then just by throwing one Molotov. Even after that misses, they still somehow come back into it. Great retake from them, and now Double Pony. They've got to secure 2 in a row if they want triple OT. Are they going to get it? Guess we're about to find out. But Lyngby have been looking very solid. They've got so many players committed on the ace side that right now, this gamble could work out in either favor. They just have one player in the form of Body, who does get traded out, and now I think the CTs know. They know that most of the attention will be on the B side, and Double Pony recognizes as well, so they want to push on forward.
They don't aggress instantly though. They back away from it. Shot missed from Christu, and that could have been brutal. That could have been vital. Getting the final blow initially, and Double Pony now are up against the wall. Nades doing so much damage to the attack of the French, and Lyngby Vikings looking to close things up here. The defense is looking grand. Look at the rotations. Everybody is around this B site. Bird from Sky and Dafu are putting bullets straight through their opponents' bodies, and they will be closing things out. Look at their faces, at how satisfied they are with that victory. It took them some time, but now they are relieved, and you can see it with their smiles. They do get themselves that first victory in the Swiss stage of Pinnacle, and they can be very happy of that prospect.
Double Pony, man, that was a team that was, we thought that they were the favorites here, but Lyngby Vikings, they've managed to scrape past. What an upset to be watching, and they've done it in style. Their entire performance was crazy, you know? Individually being able to outclass the Double Pony players, that's something we didn't expect. To be able to close it out 2-0, not in our wildest imaginations. And to beat Double Pony on their own map pick, absolutely not. But we see all of it today.
We absolutely do, and a map, well, a 2-map best of 3 that seemed to go the full distance didn't quite go that way. It could have really changed by a matter of luck at some point. It was that close, and we saw it all today, Waldere. You're right, and for that reason, I guess as a duo, I think we're sort of satisfied with the games we saw today of Counter-Strike. But if you guys are not satisfied with what has come underway so far, there are more games to be played later on today. Endpoint taking on Copenhagen Flames, while Sinners are going to play against Argo later than that as well. So make sure you stick around for those games. But other than that, it is myself, X Warrior, and Waldere, of course, signing out. See you again very soon.